You are now tuned in.
Yeah.
Podcast in the world.
Back
You're welcome in advance.
and better. I feel like Bryson
No
Tiller.
judgment at the door.
Back and better.
We're here for the
This is
journey.
crazy.
Don't do things lazy.
Got to start it off the right way.
Extra grade.
You know what I mean? I'm Marlon.
I'm Norm.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Taaylee. Am I supposed to do that?
She said, I'm here.
That's the first guest to like just take initiative and do that.
It just
No-
it was flowing. You know, I was like,
nice.
okay, let me jump in here.
So let's start there. Flowing. Flowing. You are a rapper.
I am.
You are an artist. I did not meet you as a rapper.
You didn't. You didn't.
What were you doing? You were bottle service at a number of places. It wasn't even. I don't even think it was just one spot. Like
No, I was
you were
touring.
getting to it. You were getting to it. And yeah, man. Like then the next thing I seen was you dissing a girl on top of a car. You're standing on a car. And I don't know
right
who.
into it.
I didn't know who you were talking to. I just know she felt stink. Like I just know
Wow.
she felt stink.
She felt it.
It was crazy because if it was anybody, if it was a guy who made that song,
Yeah.
let's be real. If like it would have been out of here a little bit even more.
Yeah.
People would have gave it more respect, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You know how it goes.
Because I've seen the ghostwriter talks in your comments, all that shit, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, it's rhyming words, guys. It's not.
It's not like rocket science.
How is that a man thing?
Dr. Seuss did it? Like
Dr.
Right,
Zeus,
right.
it could be a woman. We don't know what
And
the
let's
doctor
be
stands
real,
for.
women are a little more
Okay.
smarter than men.
I mean,
and a little more
intricate.
is me being like
Yeah.
nice.
I was
That's
gonna
what
say,
I said.
I
little
feel
more,
like,
a
I
little
feel like
more.
you guys are more intuitive. Like
Yeah.
you guys are better feeling things through, right? And
Yeah.
even in like your music, there's a lot of feeling. Like I don't ever hear a song from you so far
Yeah, so
that
far.
just seems like you just threw it out just to throw it out. Feels like there's real emotion behind that. What's with that?
Well, you know, I do kind of like, it's a process for me, like when it comes to the writing and stuff. Like I kind of have to feel it. Like I really have to feel it.
Yeah.
It just starts from like, well, now my process is slightly different. Now I try to like find beats and write to them. But like before, I would go to the studio and then my engineer or my producer would be like, so what's your vibe right now? And then I'd be like, yo, I'm feeling like, you know, I want a bop, or I feel like, you know, I want a slow jam or whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And then he'd literally make the beat on like right there. And then I'd write while he's making the beat, right?
Cook to
But
order.
yeah, so it's like really like, that's why it's a like you're like you said,
Yeah,
there's
that's why
feeling.
it's so
like-
cohesive too.
Yeah,
And
it's
like
really-
we started us off, you talking about flow. Your flow is greasy. Like you have different pockets that you get
Yeah.
into, which I
Thank
fuck
you.
with.
Yeah.
And you are not afraid to play around with your voice this early.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
something you don't hear from artists usually until like year 3
so they feel
start.
super comfortable.
I found my voice. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
on this latest track, this West Coast track, you
Certified
have
Finesse.
certified finesse. You have like these flows that you go in and out of, and sometimes you just sound like you're playing around with your voice and playing
Thank
around with the
you.
beat. Like,
Yeah.
is that inspired from anyone,
No,
or is
it's
it just
not.
another feeling?
Yeah, really. Okay, so for me, like doing the music thing, I was like, that was my thing. I'm like, okay, I want to find what my sound is, right? So
Yeah.
I was really like trying everything, like, you know, so you got Glowed Up where I'm like doing a little bit of like more like melodic stuff, and then you have like the rap where I'm just flowing back and forth. Then you have like freestyles. Like it's literally like kind of like all over the place. But I'm like, I'm kind of like trying to grow with my audience at this
Yeah.
point where I'm like, okay, what do you guys fuck with? Because I need to know what. Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
No fucking way.
No fucking way you fucking swearing on this motherfucking show, man. I'm joking, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to like grow with my audience at this point. So you know, it's like whatever you guys are fucking with, I'm gonna fuck with it. And, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So
I hear that.
Yeah,
That's
It's
dope.
it's good for you to experiment anyways. you know?
yeah. And honestly, while I was pregnant, I found a lot of like different pockets that I didn't know. And it's funny because right after I gave birth, we were talking to this lady in LA, and she was like, yo, when I was pregnant, I found a bunch of like different pockets for my voice. I'm like, yo, I didn't even notice it. But I'm like, that's literally what's happening
That's
with
crazy.
me. Where I'm like, you know, I'm going in the booth and I'm like, okay, let me try this out or whatever. And it just like,
Wow.
I don't know. It's like,
With all
Maybe
the
that's
hor-
how Serena
I
won.
was gonna say with all,
Serena's sitting 2 tennis balls on the court. Like,
with all the hormonal changes, there's got to be something
Yeah.
changing in your senses too.
yeah. That's
And even
probably
the
exactly
emotion.
what it- yeah.
the
That too.
emotion tied to the
Definitely
music.
go through a lot.
Yeah.
So I think she's like the first woman that we've had on here that has kids.
Oh yeah.
Is she?
Yeah, I think so.
She-
at least
yeah,
from,
you actually
at least
are.
from since I've been on.
Why are we against kids on the show?
That's
what's going on?
We're
Come
against
on now.
mothers.
What's that about?
Hold
So I
on,
just had a
we're
baby
against
too.
mothers.
Okay.
When did you have your babies? I know you were
January.
hiding them.
Yeah.
See, we want to talk about that.
Yeah.
We want to talk about this, all right? Because it goes right back to, it's very triggering. It goes right back to that Drake shit.
Yeah.
And it goes right back to that Kendrick cover.
Yeah.
Why is it hiding?
It's not really
If I
hiding.
don't
Hiding,
tell
it's more
strangers.
private.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Because I remember when you did make the announcement, which it's like an announcement now.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not just another post, it's an announcement.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
When you made the post, people were like, what?
Yeah.
Where did this, how did you? And it's like, it's very easy. Don't post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is
yeah.
it's also kind of hard though. Like, not to
Oh,
cut you
yeah.
off, sorry. But
No,
it's
it's okay.
hard like for me to not post
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's like I gotta be consistent and people are expecting me to post. And so it's like when I don't post, I have people in my comment section of like old posts saying she's either pregnant or she's this or that. And I'm like,
good though. They're
like, yo.
preeing. That's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Because that's people
They're-
tracking the entire journey. They're not
Yeah.
just, they're watching and they're invested enough
They're
to be like, yo,
dedicated to
where
be
they
like-
at?
Right.
This isn't usual. And see,
Really
like,
invested.
really
Yeah,
invested.
yeah,
And see
yeah.
how we were talking about like consumer knowledge like growing and like things like that would not happen in like the 90s, I don't think. I think people would like take a gap and people were like, oh, they're just living life, I guess. I don't know.
yeah, it's true.
Now
Yeah,
it's
they
like
give you that
people
time.
people know that you have to, especially in her position, up and coming, you have to keep
Like, keep
gotta be
going.
consistent.
pumping out. That's
Yeah.
what they expect from you,
Yeah,
right? Do you
facts.
feel a pressure from that?
Yes. I would lie if I said no. I do feel the pressure, but I feel like I've always felt that pressure where it's not really like, okay, what are people expecting of me?
Yeah.
But it's more so of me, like me, literally, if I'm not posting, if I'm not going hard, I get like, I don't even know what to call it. I get like anxious in a sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, nah, I gotta get to work. Like I gotta do something. Like, I gotta. 'cause
Weren't
I
you
get-
talking
stay
about
really
experiencing that?
Yeah. Right now, because I had a baby in February.
Aw,
two.
congratulations.
Not two of them.
Big babies on this show, Big
Was it
babies.
the when in February? Like beginning or?
February 26th.
Oh, okay. So we're
Yeah.
like literally a month apart.
When did you give birth?
The 21st of January.
Our babies can be friends.
Look at these birthing parents over here. man.
Did you have a boy or a girl?
Girl, her name is Nola.
Aw, I had a boy and a girl. Zarina is a girl. Azai is a boy.
That's the luckiest twin combo you could get in
Yes.
the world.
That's
Are they
perfect.
paternal? Are they identical or paternal?
The paternal. So they can't be identical if they're a boy and girl.
Yeah, they have to be the both
They,
same.
Yeah, they
I
have
did
to.
not know that.
Yeah.
Yes, because
Thank
it's
God,
the same.
though.
So the difference between it is that when they are identical, it comes from the same egg. So it's
Yeah.
like two sperm that come in, like
And it
get
splits.
and then it splits.
Yeah.
When it's fraternal, it's
They
two
already have
separate
the eggs
eggs,
there.
and then like sperm go into like the eggs.
And sometimes one of the kids yam one of the eggs. And they, have both of
no,
the kids
like the
inside
baby,
them.
like the whatever.
No, I'm serious.
No,
I'm
actually
serious. That's
can.
dead
Can.
ass. That's dead ass.
Did you
Yeah.
hear? There was a story where this lady, she gave birth to a child, and I think it was taxes or something. She was trying to claim the kid on her taxes. This was in the States. Did you hear the story?
Yes, I know exactly what
And
you're talking about.
they basically looked into her and said like, this is not your kid, like she's committing fraud. And what happened was she was actually a twin, and she ended up like eating
Twin.
the sibling.
Yeah.
And so she had two sets of DNA, and the kid had her sister's DNA
Yeah.
and not her
Yeah.
DNA. So she wasn't technically like the mother of the child.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's
Oh.
crazy.
Super wild.
So she had to like prove it to say like, no, I'm not committing fraud. Like this is my child. Like crazy.
That is nuts.
Nuts.
Science is so
Yo,
crazy.
did you know that you could also have like twins? Like I have a friend that has a twin sister, but a different father. So
Oh, yeah.
So she
You
had
can.
sex. Like moms
Like-
had sex with two different dudes within the
Yeah,
same
I've seen
week.
that. Yeah, you
and
could
they
do
had
it.
two different fathers.
There was
but
somebody
one set of
recently.
twins.
How do you explain
She
that?
had sex with two different guys on the same day, and she ended up getting pregnant twice by both
See,
the guys.
that's how they got Kobe.
yeah.
That's how they got. That's how
That's
they
how we
got
started
Kobe.
it.
Stay woke out there, niggas.
Wow.
Y'all niggas stay woke.
Well, in one of your songs, the porcelain
Smiles.
porcelain smiles. At
It's
the
one of
end
my
of
faves,
it,
for
you
sure.
actually say that you were in the booth at 8 months pregnant,
Yeah.
and that you almost lost your son because of it. Do
Yeah.
you feel comfortable sharing that story?
Yeah, of course. So I was literally like, when I found I was pregnant, I was like, okay, get to work, right? Because it was at like literally a moment in my life where I'm like transitioning into, okay, I'm moving, and I'm like, I was doing a lot at the moment, and I'm like, okay, this is really gonna slow me down. Like that was my mindset. But then when I was like, okay, I'm pregnant, I'm gonna do this. Like I was just like, okay, let's be consistent, let's get to work and let's shoot all these videos, right? So I was doing that, and at one point I went to a doctor's appointment and they told me that my son was slowing down in his growth rate. It was going down. So I was induced 2 days later.
Wow.
And when I was induced, my son was when he was born, he wasn't breathing.
Oh.
Yeah, so I had my daughter natural birth, and
God bless.
yeah,
Shit.
and then an hour and like 46 minutes later, I had my
give you a
son,
C-section?
and I had an emergency C-section.
God damn.
Yeah,
Wow.
So he was in a incubator for 5 days, and they like cooled him like so much things because they had the possibility of like having like mental issues and things like that, right? So they had to like literally like cool him down to like slow down the process if it was to happen.
Yeah.
And so I was away from him for like 5 days, and I was going through it and everything.
Damn.
So like, you know, and it was like the worst that could happen is he doesn't make it, you know, then there's a chance of he makes it, but he has mental issues. And then best case possible, he's completely fine. So, you know,
Thank
God willing, he's
Yeah.
completely fine. Yeah.
Let's go. I love to hear it.
I know that it's really scary, especially like when kids or babies are born early.
Right.
My sister
Yeah.
she was 5 weeks early, and she had to stay in the NICU for a month. So I know my mom like went through it, and I always thought about it too. I'm just like, when I was pregnant, I was like, I want her, if she comes early, it's okay, but not too early.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, be ready, be done.
Especially
be
when you
cooked.
guys, especially when you guys get to month 8, you guys like get out already.
Oh my gosh, how are you? I want to know, like, how was your process? Yeah. Well, you said you had a girl, right?
Yeah, a girl.
So well, how was it for you?
It was the first trimester was a lot of throwing up. I was sick all the fucking time. And my face was like breaking out so much. I hated it. Like the hormones had me feeling like I was 16 again.
While hiding it from us, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't tell them. I didn't tell
Oversized
them.
hoodies.
I didn't tell them until I was about to announce on like social media, and I told them first, and it was the greatest like surprise ever.
It was amazing.
It was one of the best episodes.
It was so left. I was like, nigga, what?
No,
You told them
She
you were
said it
pregnant?
at first, and
Yeah.
we didn't
Okay,
even, we like brushed it off like,
They thought I was joking.
Yeah, sure, there,
That's
buddy.
what my grandmother did. I swear, I told her, she's like, shut up. I'm like, okay. She's like, no, wait, are you really pregnant? I'm like, yeah. She's like,
And then she starts
she went to
crying.
bed and came back down. She's like, I can't sleep. Oh my gosh.
I gotta sleep on it. I gotta sleep on it.
I just gotta laugh. But other than that, like once I was past that first trimester, I was a lot like better. And then in the last little while, my baby was really big. She was 9 pounds 7 ounces, 22 inches long. So she was just like,
Leaguer.
I mean, mama
Yeah.
and daddy are fucking.
We're
Came out the
giants.
womb. Euros.
yeah, she
nigga.
really did. She really did. So at the end of it, I was just like, "Damn, yo, girl,
Yeah,
because
get
I
the
was normal for a lot of the process. Like I barely looked pregnant until I didn't look pregnant.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, and then the big belly came, and then I've talked about the whole traumatic experience with birth on here, and a lot of people actually message me and talk to me and say like, "I'm so happy that you shared your story."
Yeah.
Because I went through like 37 hours, lost a lot of blood, then ended up back in the hospital with postpartum preeclampsia. So it's crazy just like how every pregnancy can be different.
Yeah.
And, like even with you got to experience, unfortunately, had to experience both type of labors.
Yeah.
You,
At one
you do the
time.
natural and then you have to do the C-section and you feel like the recovery of, because they say recovering from a C-section takes
How long
know,
were you in
forever.
labor, like in total?
your natural, I guess, labor.
Not really long, to be honest. Like, I was induced.
Well, because they induced you, so
Exactly.
that was
yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
they
yeah.
they when you induce, they force you to like
This
go
one
into
had to
labor.
just wait.
Yeah,
This one's just
like,
waiting.
come on,
All right,
bro.
man. All right, bro. What could get dilated? Where the inches at? Where the inches?
Nothing. One. 24 hours later, you are 1 centimeter dilated. My mom says it's because I'm always late, so it's payback. I had to.
Wow. That's some shit my mom would say too. Yeah.
But anyways, back to your music, I
Yes.
guess.
I mean, that is the music.
Yeah,
right?
it is because,
though.
like she said, that she during your pregnancy you felt like you had to hustle, and there's so many women that think that they have to get it and that your life will change once you
Yeah.
have a child, and of course it does
It does change,
but at the same time there is a possibility to still continue your life with what you were doing
exactly.
before.
If anything, I feel like it motivates you to
Oh, yeah.
go harder.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I'm way more like, motivated. I'm way more serious about everything now. Like,
And
than
you
I
have a
was
daily
before.
reminder.
Yeah.
Like we be
Yeah.
motivated for ourselves a lot of times, but don't see why every day. Like
Yeah.
you get a check and you're like, oh, I'm buying food again. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
facts.
and then when you get down to the bread backs, you're like, no, I gotta go hard. I gotta go hard.
Focus.
Time to get
Buckle
focused.
down,
yourself, you know.
No more procrastinating. But yeah, no, definitely. What I want to know, because you've already experienced both sides of this as an artist, what is the more anxiety fueled, quote unquote beef, and putting out diss tracks, or putting out something as vulnerable as a Porcelain song?
Person. Definitely.
yeah?
Definitely. Yeah. Cause for me, it's like the extras is not really me. It doesn't really, for me, it was like
Maybe she's just a clown girl.
The extras, yes.
yeah, the extras.
I don't know who the extra is, by the way. Don't shoot me, please. Thank you. I have no idea who you are. Thank you.
No, yeah, no facts. Me neither.
I heard a gunshot.
Yeah, no, but yeah, no, like for me, being vulnerable was like, cause I feel like I wasn't really vulnerable on like my social platform before. Like, I'll do like the mental health checks and things like that every now and then. But like for me to come out and be like, yo, this is what I'm going through and this is why, cause especially because of the aftermath of all that shit, it was like, there was a lot of speculations and a lot of like eyes on me and like what's going on. Like, okay, now since
timing
that
of
you're
it.
falling off,
Yeah,
like,
the
all
timing was,
these
yeah.
different things that were being said. And I'm like, okay, now I gotta tell you guys, like, I had twins. Like, how are you, like, how is the world gonna, take this right now? And then, yeah, exactly. And then, like, at one point, I was just like, nah, I gotta get this off my chest. Like, and it's like, it wasn't like a situation where I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna post them. I'm like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it through the
Properly.
music.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because I need people to know that, like, yeah, I do this music thing, So
That's what made me
about it.
know you were serious about it.
Yeah.
Honestly, that when I
'Cause
saw
I-
that song, I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
Because
I
a
see
lot of times you'll see a key thing I look for usually with artists is how versatile they get early on. Because that's very telling of what type of career you're trying to put out there. You know what I mean? Is it going to be one of longevity, or are you just trying to turn up?
yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Like a one-hit wonder.
that was a longevity move for me.
Yeah.
When I saw that, I was like, okay, she's serious about this. It's not just some play thing, because it takes a lot to do that.
It
To
does.
be vulnerable. People,
does.
a lot of people have to wait till Bella Let's Talk Day to just get that off their chest.
No fact. It's true. It's true. It's true.
But
Yeah.
honestly, like one thing that I've learned is the more vulnerable you are, the more connected your followers are.
Yep.
Yeah,
They
the
it's
more they
true.
love you.
appreciate it so
It's
much,
true.
and they become just like people who might be, casual listeners or casual followers to people who really ride for you and support everything.
Is
yeah,
it
it's
worth
it's
it,
really
though?
the difference.
Is it worth
Is it
it?
worth
But
it?
people forget
Yeah.
that's half the reason people love Drake, because he came out and switched it up with his
Vulnerability. Yeah.
So like,
But is it worth
I
it?
think it is worth it because, like, if you actually have a story to tell, somebody is going to relate to it and it's going to help them. So,
Yeah.
like I've said, me sharing my birth story, I've had plenty of people come up to me, like, reach out to me in my DM saying, like, yo, thank you. Like, I
Yeah.
never even knew that shit. Or they were pregnant and they were like, I feel bad because I don't want to scare anybody with shit like pregnancy. I think birth is whatever.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, yo, I didn't even realize, like, you scared the shit out of me, but that helped me prepare for my birth. Or when I talk about like me having to go back to the hospital, some people didn't even know what postpartum preeclampsia was until I shared it. And so like those things, or even me expressing that I deal with postpartum depression, like people relate to that stuff. And so for me, it's like, okay, it does remind me that I'm not alone and that I'm not the only one that's going through it. And there is somebody out there that's gonna take from it, and hopefully they can be like learn from it or be stronger from it or whatever. So I think it's worth it.
I think that's the
definitely
one untouchable, vulnerable thing you can put out there.
What?
What you just talked about. Like but being a mother for the most part,
Yeah.
giving birth especially. Like
Yeah.
everything else I've seen in terms of people being vulnerable, especially as a public figure, usually gets thrown back in your face.
Yeah.
It usually gets used against you later on for no reason of your own. Or, like he says, people don't buy it and they think it's performative.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's when you have to actually mean it. You know,
I
like
think
you
it's a
guys
level of
shared a
discernment.
certain video the other day. I don't want to go into details, like whatever, but I thought that was more performative than anything.
I
You
see
know
what
what
you're
I'm
saying.
talking?
Yeah, no.
That one, like, it felt
We'll
more
talk about that
performative.
later.
But yeah,
We'll talk about that later.
But,
We're not
like,
going to
if
get her
you-
into
yeah,
it.
no. if you like are just authentic, you know what I mean, and not having a specific agenda behind it, like why are people going to throw it in your face? Maybe it's a little bit different with the music because then people will be able to see it as a quote unquote weakness. But if you own it, then it's like
People are still gonna
Eminem.
throw it in your
It's like
face.
Eminem, like saying all of his
you gotta-
what's wrong with him, and he owns
gotta
it.
8 Mile
You
yourself
can, but it's
before
like, hey,
anybody
this
else
is who
can.
I am. I told you that.
But
I'm
now
like
it's being
this.
used against him.
I feel like
Now,
well.
like it took a long time, but it's definitely getting used against him now.
Yeah.
And like it's more so I feel like you have to have a level of discernment. Like, yeah, be vulnerable, but choose when and where. Like, not just full transparency on the internet. Especially if you're
Sorry,
someone that has more bad days than good. Some people out here have more bad days than good and they share all of it.
Yeah, no.
And
that's
now you
crazy.
just get annoying or you look like you're beg. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, so I think there's a level to it of, yeah, you can be vulnerable, but I have my own problems too. Like, you know, I can't just hear someone's problems every
Yeah.
week.
I guess
At
if
some point it gets, like,
it
annoying.
the negativity outweighs the positivity.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially these days. Like what? And also with the cancel culture and everything, you got to be really like
Listen.
choosy with what you choose to share and
Well,
what you
let's
don't.
talk
Walking
about
on
that,
eggshells.
shall we? Why do you have beef with PETA? What did PETA do to you? Do you see this video? She's in a freezer with various animals, skinned, hanging upside down,
And a fur
wearing
coat.
a fur coat.
And
Are you
that's-
sick?
And that's the reason why PETA has beef for her.
PETA gonna find you with a bucket of red paint. You have to
No,
watch out.
seriously, yeah, no. People are. I said this on another interview. My post got taken down off of TikTok because of
Oh,
like
they got the vegans found her
and
already.
then people like someone called PETA and and I'm like,
I was in a butcher shop. Like, what the hell? You're in
yeah,
a butcher.
I was in a butcher shop.
You're in a
yeah.
butcher shop
But-
freezer.
But when I walked in there, first of all, before I even walked in there, right, my team sent me the picture because we had this idea, like, okay, let's do
Like
this,
Rocky.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they sent me the picture of the butcher shop, and I'm like, does it stink in there? Like,
Yeah.
what? Like that looks crazy to
I
me.
know it's stinking there.
Because
That's
me
crazy.
personally, I eat chicken and I eat fish, and I'm trying to cut it out. I'm trying to be
Yeah.
vegetarian. So I'm like, when I seen it, for me, it was like,
Yeah.
turning my belly. Thank God it didn't smell in there. It was like, you
Yeah,
know,
no
it was
meat.
chilled
Raw
meat.
meat is usually pretty chill. Still.
Yeah, it's
Especially
just
in the
chill.
freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's
But-
so funny.
Yeah, no, I got a lot of people messaging me about that, and I'm like, hey, listen,
It looked like a statement. Like it looked like you were like,
Well,
fuck
hey.
these animals.
I mean, if you were to,
It
if you
gets the
just wore
people
like
going.
if you just wore a regular bubble jacket, they wouldn't have said nothing. But it was the fur,
The fur and
coat
everything.
with the meat.
With
Yeah.
the time, because
Yeah,
imagine if
yeah,
Rocky
yeah.
came out now, they'd be on his ass. They'd be
Because
like,
it
why
came
you,
out before.
why you in there beating up dead animals? Like they would have been on his ass too. It would have been a rap
It's
for him.
dead.
It's true, but
Pretty much
honestly,
it.
you looking at the dead meat, how does it make you feel though? Doesn't it make you feel kind of like grossed out, kind of a little
You're,
bit
you're
like?
talking to the
I'm
oxtail
Jamaican.
god
Oh
over
yeah,
here,
no,
man.
he said make
I
oxtail
looked-
cheap again.
All I saw around you was buffet. I just,
Yeah.
I see the end result. I don't see raw meat. I see what it's going to be.
I'm like, this is eventually Copacabana Brazilian barbecue.
I
I'm
see
good.
the potential
You know what I'm saying?
in the chicken. That's all I'm saying. I almost said potential in the meat. That's crazy. Now, do we have to worry as Toronto men about our girls becoming rappers now? Is this something a legitimate worry?
Blame her for being so good at it. That everyone's gonna see. That's the thing. When people come up to me like, "Oh man, after I saw your performance, I think I want to try comedy," and I'm like,
That's a compliment.
"It's a compliment, but really, did
But
I
it's
make
like,
it look
no.
that
Right?
easy?"
Yeah,
yeah.
that's why it's a compliment. A lot of times, I remember back in the day, people used to take that as an insult.
Yeah.
Like, but now I'm like, I made this look easy because of years of preparation,
Yeah.
months of work,
Right,
whatever that went into it. So if I made it look easy, I did my job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if you're inspiring people to do it, like I used to think that when I was like, why am I looking at comedians that I really adore and being like, I want to do that. That looks easy. Like,
Because they're doing it well.
because they're doing it well,
Yeah,
man.
it's true. It's true.
That's amazing.
And that's you, man. You got these girls wanting to rap, spit. do all
Any of
that
your
shit.
girls trying to jump in the booth after you started?
My team, they'll be like, yo, let me go on this. Let me show you how to spit on this. I swear, yes. They got songs in the tuck. Don't worry. They got songs in the tuck.
Hey,
I remember I put a song and they did an intro. One of them did an intro on it. I'm like, nah, keep that shit.
Yeah. Yo, hype them up, man.
You don't know Taaylee. Start rapping like it's fucking Chief Keef.
No, we were saying last week there needs to be, and even Gutsy Gus was saying there needs to be like a new ladies' night. Like a
Yeah.
Toronto version where
Yeah,
all the
but-
ladies are gathered
Would
and
be
they
It's
come
crazy.
together.
I was.
Have
You know,
I-
I
Who
thought
would
about
you
it.
put on there right now
Damn.
if you were to do a ladies' night?
Ladies' night. Okay. I'll
And
do
this is
Goldie.
disrespect to nobody that's not on the list.
No, this is
just
full
me.
disrespect.
Stop that. Stop that.
Full disrespect, family. What do you mean? How you mean that? I'm joking.
Yeah, I'll do Goldie
Okay.
for sure. Let me think.
Goldie London.
Yeah, and Nana. I really
Shout out
like
to Vibe
Nana.
105. Yo, she played every day we
Every
were there.
day.
She's
Oh,
on
really?
it. Yeah, man.
Oh,
They're
shit.
playing
Shout
on
out
the
to her.
radio enough, man. It was wicked.
Shout out to her.
So Goldie.
Yeah. I'll do Nana Goody. I'll do Charmaine.
Nana. Okay.
Because I
Okay.
fuck with Charmaine heavy.
Juno Award
Yeah.
nominee winner. Did she win?
Did she win? I
don't
can't
know.
remember.
I feel like she won. I'm gonna just say
don't
winner.
know.
She's
I'm
a
gonna say
winner, period.
Yeah.
She's up there. She's winning.
Yeah.
If she didn't win, then she
Big
will
up
win.
Charmaine.
You know
I'm
what
pretty sure she
saying?
won.
Yeah, of course.
Yo, who's that new Brampton thing that Drake followed?
Oh my God! No,
That's
okay,
why- that's why-
okay. No, hold on. Because
Come on now, yo, let that shit run, son.
yo, hold on, I
Let that
gotta find
shit
it. I gotta
run,
find
son.
it.
Oh.
Dog, when I saw it, I was like, "What the hell?" And then I was like, "You know what?
It's like Drake. It's Drake like.
It's Drake like to be invested in an artist that sounds completely different.
Different, yeah.
This reminds me of when he followed McConan, and everyone's like, "McConan, really?" Like, because he had the 1 tune out, and it was a little off kilter. It sounded a little like rough, like a 1st draft. And then this girl popped up, and it's the same thing. Her name is Lioness Carr.
Even
And
Tory
she
Lane is
is-
showing love.
Is it the brown girl?
Yeah.
Jeez. You know why I rate it? You know why I rate it? First of all, she's a brown girl.
She's a brown girl.
That's the first
She's
and
committed,
foremost.
and she believes. She believes
exactly.
in herself. Yo.
And like she believes in herself so much. Like people like this, when they have this type of confidence, it's just something in me. I gotta root for them. Like
Yeah, no, I fuck with confidence, period. If you
Straight
could be
up.
shit, as long I said this about a few artists, I'm gonna mention no names, but listen, I said that about a few artists. I'm like, yo, if anything gonna take you that further step, is your confidence.
exactly.
If you believe in your shit and other people see that you believe in it, people start believing in things
For
that
you.
I'm telling you.
Exactly.
It's really like
yeah, like chromas.
Not putting
Anyways,
chromas on ladies' night.
Don't do that.
Jeez, no comment.
We're
You
just
don't
gonna-
know.
we're just gonna skip
hey, listen, I'm all for uplifting the women.
Hey, chromas hit the line. You know the digits. How much for a feature? 10K.
You gotta talk to management.
God damn. Put it in the
Talk to
shoebox. Put it in the
management.
shoebox.
Yeah.
But
Save
yesterday's
up,
price,
save
not
up.
today's price. That's all I'm saying.
You're
Let it be
popping.
I'm
known.
up here with Marlon
popping?
Palmer.
Yeah, it's
My
loud.
bad.
Yeah.
You popping?
You should be good.
No, because he's
I be
loud.
talking loud.
Yeah.
Nah, but this girl, she really like.
She
When I
tries.
seen her, I went to her page. I looked at everything, bro.
Right.
I had to look at everything because I'm like, is this a joke or
Yeah.
is this a
Like,
Ram
is she
Riddles
serious?
or is this like a serious?
It's
Yeah,
a Bert
yeah.
LaPlug dog. That's
It's
how I'm
not.
telling
It's
you.
not a Bert plug. It's not a Bert plug. She's different, and I obviously, she's not the greatest rapper, but you can see the potential. You can see that she studies rap. Like it's not like there's some freestyles on her page where she's just standing in like her hallway rapping, and it's on some hard old 90s hip hop beats and stuff that like kids these days
Would never care for.
fuck with. And she's a young youth, so it's like I
probably
know
doesn't,
she
like,
really
yeah.
loves this shit.
All her friends don't know what the original.
I want to
is.
see her friends turn up on a stage with her somewhere so
Oh,
bad.
that'd be. She should do
Yeah.
that actually. I hope
This
she's
is
watching
Toronto.
this. Write
I
that
just,
down.
I just want to see
This
her
is
on a
Toronto.
track with Griselda, man. Like so
Fam,
bad. I
this
just
is-
heard Griselda.
She's one of the most Toronto artists.
She's what?
She's one of the most Toronto artists. Like, this is so
Oh,
Toronto
yeah,
for an
very.
artist like this to even make any noise online.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
where else would this happen?
yeah,
So that's why I'm rooting for her.
From
honestly.
Brampton.
Even if I don't fuck with the music,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just rooting for her to win with whoever group fucks with that type of music.
True.
Good for her, man.
What made you decide to start rapping? Like, was this always something that you thought about,
Yeah.
or
No, it wasn't actually. My old situation actually like prompted me to start, to be honest. And I'm thankful. I always say I'm thankful for that situation because it got me, willing to put things out the way that I am. I'm very like a perfectionist. And I'm like, I don't want people to see the progress. I want people to see the finished
End
product.
product, yeah.
And so like, I feel like that situation kind of prompted me to be like, nah, fuck it, grow with them. Like, and
Yeah.
like for that, I'll always be thankful because it got me into this mindset of like, okay, like I'm gonna just put something out, if they fuck with it, they don't fuck with it. Like, I'm in a state of like trial and error, but like, it's like, it's allowing me to progress quickly because of that. So that's really what it was. And then after that, I just kind of like fell in love with the process and just
the
been.
best.
That's it.
That's
Once
the
you fall
best.
in love with the process, that's
Yeah.
when you know you're gonna do well.
Yeah.
Because it's not
all you
work
need.
anymore at that point.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know,
That's
Exactly.
passion.
Yeah. Like I can't wait to go to the studio. Like I haven't been to the studio in like 5 days now and I'm
Itching.
actually upset about it.
There's something about a studio though that like just gets you into a zone creatively, no matter what you do. I don't know what it is. Like just sitting in a studio, you're just like, yeah, I gotta work. I gotta do something. Like,
Yeah.
I've sat in with some of my friends and just been there like vibing and getting tons of work done because it just felt so productive in there. Like there's a
the energy is like
Yeah.
you have to come in here and work.
work,
Yeah.
do something. You know what I mean? So
Get shit done.
Do you bring the kids to the studio?
Yep.
Yeah.
When I can't find not like all the time, but if
Yeah.
I can't find a babysitter, I'm like, all right, pack them up, let's go. Keep the sound down to a certain.
just gotta put the microphone on under her, get the heartbeat as a beat. It's like Michael Jackson. It's like Michael Jackson.
Yo.
Yeah,
Thinking,
think
she's
about it.
thinking, you know.
I was gonna say you were making music while you're pregnant.
Yeah.
Have you played them the music that
I
you
always
made?
play my music.
that
I
you-
always play my music to the
That's
kids.
amazing.
Boss
I'm like, yo,
up
you guys
is
like
not for
this?
me.
And they're just looking at me like, I'm like, oh, maybe not.
Yo, I had my nephew at my comedy show this weekend, and he was running the door. And as I was about to do a joke about him, I knew the speaker was playing downstairs where he was sitting. So I'm like, "Hey, yo, nephew, close your ears right now. I'm about to tell a joke about you." and I waited like 3 seconds. I'm like, "I thought my nephew was gay." And after he's like, "I heard the joke." I'm like, "Hey man, just remember it's comedy, bro. It's off to the left."
He's gonna be in years of therapy because of that moment.
All his friends are gonna be like,
Funny.
so you want to come out that closet?
No, but I flipped it. I'm like, nah, he wasn't gay. He's just a perv. Okay, that's it. He just liked girls a lot. You know?
Oh man, so
Hilarious.
you were in a group before. You've gone solo. Obviously, solo seems to be the route that you're enjoying a lot
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
It seems to be more your.
I love it here.
It seems to be more your stride for sure. What else can we expect? Are there any big changes? Because you seem to be just having big changes.
Yeah, you know what? And it's crazy because these big changes are never called for. They're never planned. It just comes right out the woodworks. And I'm like, okay, God, this is what we're doing. Then this is what we're doing, So
I
Rolling
feel
Loud.
like it's gonna
I was gonna
continue.
say, how was your Rolling Loud performance?
it was
'Cause
crazy.
that's probably the largest that you've ever performed.
That's
for?
my first performance.
I was
ever.
thinking that too. So
Yeah.
Shit.
So I was like, okay, if this is where we're starting, then, it's only up from
Only
here.
up.
Don't worry, you're like one behind Ice Spice. You're good.
She's literally like one probably artist behind.
When
Were
I
you
seen
in the
her,
same like was
Yeah.
that same
Yeah.
set stage?
yeah,
okay.
literally, I was she was backstage with me, and I
I
was
saw the
talking to her.
picture.
She's super cool, actually, and I was asking her, I'm like, yo, so are you nervous? Like, how is this? She's like, no, this is my 4th performance. I'm like, 4?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what we were talking about because like people were going off about her and like
Yeah.
expecting so much.
and it's like, no, she's new to this. One, she has like a song that's like a hit right now,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, she's literally just being booked. Like she just like, okay,
She's
I'm
being
throwing you here, I'm
flung
throwing you
into
here.
it, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's like you can't really expect it to be polished. It's not like she's Beyonce where she was growing up doing it. Like, I don't know. Actually, that might be her story. I don't know. Let me not. But
imagine.
She's like, bitch, I am Beyonce.
That's crazy.
But
she got thrown in the deep end, man.
How do you feel like you did at your performance?
I feel like I did. I think I did good considering the circumstances.
Don't be so hard on yourself.
No.
She's a
I am. I'm very hard on
okay?
myself.
She's a perfectionist.
I'm very hard on
I was
myself.
there. You did amazing.
Oh yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
You
thank
did great, man.
Okay, well then I did great. I did amazing. I did
All the
amazing.
Toronto artists really impressed me that weekend, man.
Yeah?
Really, all the Toronto artists. They had some of the best sets I've seen.
Nice.
And like, it's something about, I guess, with Rolling Loud, the way they do things, it's very dope that they have like local artists get that moment.
Yep.
Because it's very rare they ever see that many people.
Yeah.
And especially a lot of these Toronto artists that during the pandemic were on fuckery and on Clubhouse doing this and that and all. To see them actually doing something that they say they do for once was amazing. Like these guys rap and I see them online arguing more than I see them rap, which
sure.
is weird
It
to
is
me. But I'm
true.
like,
It's a
I
true
guess
thing,
that's the
so.
thing now for
Yeah.
that generation. Do your thing. But to see them actually perform and see people finally see them, like see a lot of these white kids that live in Cambridge or London or wherever, like that listen to this stuff and want to be in Toronto. And now they get to cosplay
Yeah.
for a weekend. So it was
Yeah.
dope. It was fire to see. Do you have anything coming up? Any albums? I don't know, EPs?
We're gonna work on an EP right now,
There we
and then
go.
eventually an album. But yeah, I'm working on an EP right now. Until then, I'm gonna just do singles. But like when I'm ready to drop that EP, I'm gonna drop that EP.
That's what's up. That's what's
Yeah,
up. Can we look any features yet? Any feature situations? People hollering at you hollering at people.
Well, I always mention the one with Goldie. We have a song that should be coming out soon. We'll see. I know it's gonna be on her album that she's releasing. But
What kind of flavor is that one?
It's just hard. I don't know. It's like, girl, it's for the ladies.
gal them?
I gotta tell you, it's for the
Okay,
ladies.
Ladies' night.
Like,
Ladies' night.
it's definitely for the ladies, but it's lit though. Like, I had a lot of fun with this one. I was like, okay, when she sent it to me, I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, yeah,
Women are doing the like
yeah,
coolest shit in the
Yeah.
city in terms of artists. Like when you look at videos and album concepts, covers, shoots, all that stuff. The Gallum are not even just in
Bodying.
Toronto, even in just
Overall.
mainstream hip
In
hop.
general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The women are mainly the topic these days.
yeah, true.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And they're putting out so much. This is why I'm so afraid my girl might pick up a mic, because it's just so many women out here just killing shit.
Yeah.
And it's gonna inspire even more. Like Lioness Carr, big
Yeah.
up. And we're gonna see this in droves. And like we've never seen this. It's something which is sad to say. I actually watched Woman King this weekend. You guys
you
see
get to
Woman
see it
King?
yet? No, I haven't seen
I
it
watched
yet.
Smile. I
Especially
didn't
as
see
black women.
Yeah.
Go
It's
watch
dope.
that movie.
Yeah?
man. That movie was made for you guys.
Yeah.
Like it's,
Literally.
it's to watch some of that stuff and like as women, I guess it's even more like
Empowering?
Just not even empowering, but like more of a eye opener for you guys. Seeing things about women for the first time, even though you watched movies your whole life. So like in this, just for example, I won't give away too much. There's like a palace, and in the palace, there's a section only women can go, or a man that has no dick. So they're like only
like a-
eunuchs. So a guy with no dicks past this line, basically.
Okay.
And it's just like a woman oasis. It's insane, bro. Movie's amazing.
I wonder how many women left their boyfriends or their partners after that movie. They watched the women like, I'm done with you.
Last week we saw 4 celebrity divorces in the same day.
I
Tom
was literally
Brady,
saying that. I'm like, what's going on here?
wild. Tom Brady and his wife, the two
Tia.
from Love Is Blind,
Yeah.
Tia Mowry,
And Corey.
and Miguel and his girl.
whatever her name is. And then there was another one too.
Udoka?
Cynthia Bailey is getting rid today, I think, or in the last couple of days. Cynthia Bailey is divorcing her husband again, and she's
Really?
like gotten divorced a bunch
Who
of
the hell is
times.
Cynthia
Oh
Bailey?
my
She's
God.
like from Real Housewives of
That's why
Atlanta.
I wouldn't know.
And modeling and things like that too.
white?
Yeah. She used to be a
white?
supermodel. No, she's black.
Yeah, it sounded like a black name. I was like, what?
Cynthia
Cynthia
Bailey.
Bailey.
There's a black
Didn't
person on
she have
Desperate
a baby
Housewives?
with the guy from Cool Runnings? Isn't that the one, or was it a different one?
No.
Leon?
She only has
Leon has a kid with somebody that used to be on Real Housewives of
That's
Atlanta.
crazy.
I don't know if I guess it wasn't her.
No.
There
She
is
only
one of them.
she only has a daughter, and her daughter's like full grown. Like,
No, I know they had a full grown baby, so it might be them.
oh, maybe it is. Is he
Yeah.
like dark skinned and I don't know what he looks like. That's
Yeah.
why.
You don't know the Cool Runnings guy?
I watched Cool
movie
Runnings so long
The
ago.
first one.
She's thinking about Soundcloud.
The other one. The other one. Yeah.
But thank you so much.
Wait,
Oh,
we
sorry.
have to do this. We like to. How do I say this? We
don't
make
know.
shit happen on this podcast.
Okay.
So I
the
feel like we need to
manifestation hour.
make
Yes.
this manifestation moments. That's
Yeah.
what we're gonna call it now.
the
So
M&M.
what would you like for us to manifest for you?
Okay.
Artists that come on this show just achieve things.
Yeah,
that they
Yeah.
asked
Actually,
for.
whatever.
Oh, really? Just
Yes.
like that?
Yeah, it's like a genie.
The biggest one
man.
is we got Nicki Minaj to make a song with
I don't think
Destra.
that's not the biggest one. That's not the biggest one. The biggest one is Zensoul.
Okay, fine.
Zensoul came on here. We're like, you're gonna be on the RBC partnership thing. You're gonna be nominated for a Juno. You're gonna be this, that. Everything happened in like months.
So
Okay, so how many do I get? Because
hey, go
Just
ahead.
let it be known, man.
okay, shit. Okay, all right. Let's start with.
Let's
shoot-
be very unrealistic, by the way.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
say
Don't
whatever.
stop
Okay,
thinking logically.
I can't
can
think.
see you
I can't
thinking logically.
No, but I
Yeah.
can't think
She's like-
unrealistic because I feel like all my goals are gonna happen. So it's like even if they're huge, it's like it might
you
it
still
might sound
believe that
unrealistic to someone else, but
Yes.
to me, you know. Okay, so one, let's make Shoebox the biggest brand in the world.
Pop,
Okay.
pop.
Period. Two, let's be billionaires by next year.
She's putting in the
Hello.
Ask for small change. Come on.
Nah, let's do this. Like if we're gonna do it, let's do it. You said it's happening. It's happening.
All right. So we're robbing Kanye next season.
Okay.
Okay, I don't want to rob Kanye. Let's be friends. Oh, you want to rob? Okay, he wants to.
I'm gonna work with it.
Kanye, if you're watching this, it's not. I don't want no parts. Yeah, and Taaylee, let's do it big. I want to be the next female Drake, if not bigger. Let's do it. Yeah.
Female Drake. I like it. I love
Love
it.
that for you.
Yeah,
like it.
man.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming
Yes,
through.
thank
you
Another
guys for
amazing
having
pod.
me.
Yeah.
We wish nothing but the best for you.
Exactly.
The manifestation moment has happened. So
Yes, it's
Yeah,
gonna
thank you.
happen.
It's in
God's hands now.
Like we've got
Up
this.
there, it's in the
We're
air.
generating positive energy
Yes.
for you.
But yeah, thank you so much for coming
Where
through.
can they find you?
Yeah, tell them.
Yeah, so everything. I'm on everything. Taaylee.G. It's either Taaylee.G or Taaylee_G, but either way is.
And you have two A's.
2 A's, 2 E's?
Yeah,
Yeah.
TAAYLEE dot or underscore G.
Taaylee G,
Nice.
ladies and gentlemen.
G.
Oh. Yes, thank you.
We did not have our our roadcaster. Unfortunately, the roadcaster
R.I.P.
is no more. R.I.P. to the OG
Roadcaster Uno.
RC. The OG RC is no more. But we on the bigger and better things, man. We got the new roadcaster, baby. You feel me? We out here pressing buttons. We doing different shit. There's so much we could do with this, which
Hold on,
is
my
like
voice
the
hurts
scape.
right now.
Why? What's wrong with your voice, nigga? I don't know. Oh, I love this.
This is my favorite. This one right here. The chipmunk? The chipmunk. Alicia just sounds like Alicia. That's so funny. That's crazy, man. Are you stupid? Are you dumb? Yo, her laugh is so high-pitched that it's high-pitched for a squirrel. That's that's fucking crazy, dog. Don't say so. I can't. Yeah, that's crazy. Yo, it sounds like a bunch of kids doing a pod, nigga. Yeah, we're doing the rest of the pod in this high voice, man. It's straight. It's like the little Rugrats.
Oh, this just in. I guess this is our good youth of the week. This is our good youth of the week megaphone. We got to scream it from the hilltops.
I am Canadian.
Oh, that's good stuff. But yes.
We're back to regular voice. This is amazing. That's so sick that I can do that. But yeah,
Everything happens for a reason, you know?
God
That's what I gotta
God
say.
said level up.
R.I.P. to
Yeah, I mean, God said
get the
level
new
up.
blessings.
Hey, shut the up. Hey, Matt, what was
Not
that?
you censoring.
Why would and you? I changed it. But yeah, that is great. That's amazing. Yeah, we're gonna have way too much fun with this. But yo, how was y'all week? Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good.
Come on,
Were you
mama.
trying to?
You good? Are you good?
Yes. This is
That
a
was
new
a
word.
sigh. The
Yeah.
sigh was.
It was eventful.
You were at the Blue Jays
I
game,
was
weren't
just
you?
very tired. I did go to the Blue Jays game last week.
Oh, not
Yeah,
not the.
that-
Now that one.
I'm sorry. I can do that anytime.
I did the Scarborough Shooting Stars annual golf tournament.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Played a whole 18 holes.
And what was your? Were you?
I did not keep score because I suck. Everybody else kept score, not me though.
So plus 32 for Alicia. That's crazy.
Close enough. But it was really dope. What's going on?
It goes for a while. I found a longer one. That's the new sad music.
Yeah, it was really dope though. At every hole, they had like different activations where, like, one of them you could win flights on.
Oh wow.
Flair Airlines. Another one you could potentially win a Lexus, but you have to get like a hole in one.
That's fire.
Win T-shirts and food. Well, there was like free food all over the place and free drinks.
Where? Please tell me if it's at Scarborough Golf Club.
No, it was in Markham.
Oh, that's
What
What the heck? A
That's
Scarborough Golf
off-brand.
Club. How don't they have
Because
Scarborough?
does
Shooting
Scarborough
Stars
even
tournament?
have
Yes,
a golf
it's called Scarborough Golf Club on Scarborough Golf Club Road.
No, this one was in Markham off of like Kennedy. So, and it was really, really nice. Like huge, like rich people shit for sure.
Big
Yeah,
nigga
but
shit.
They couldn't have it in the hood. They had like niggas with real money over there. So
They got real money at the Scarborough
Niggas
one.
in the hood don't got real money, apparently. I'm so sorry, guys.
they got the illegal money.
You got the fake money.
But yeah, I did some other stuff too.
But what was the sign
Worked.
for?
Huh?
What was the sign for? You made it sound like something bad happened.
No, nothing bad happened. It was just a
long week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I hear that.
It's hard. It's hard out here for a pimp.
Amazingly busy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you
Doing
too, man.
amazing things.
You
No,
had
it was
a-
just me talking.
Oh,
But yeah, me
you
too,
did amazing
yeah.
things.
Oh,
You
come
did.
on
You
now.
had your
One
one
man
man
show. Let's go.
How you feel, nigga? 10 years later.
Facts. Literally 10 years later.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was the right time. Everyone's like, man, what took you so long? And I think about it. I'm like, no, this is when it should have happened. Because if I tried to do it back then, I wouldn't have been ready. And da-da-da-da. This is perfect.
I don't think you would have taken it
Sometimes
as
things
seriously
happen. when
Yeah.
it's supposed
as
to
you
happen.
took this. You
No.
took this very seriously. You prepared weeks in advance, which is unlike you. You had cameramen. You had the whole deal. Your shows are always elaborate, but I feel like this one you put a little extra care and feeling into.
He was like, "This is it. This is the one."
the Norman.
This one
Yeah.
had to be the one because it was the culmination of all my
Hard work.
my entire life's work as a comedian. And I remember, like, I've never written out every single joke. I've typed out a list of my jokes, but I've never really like had point form notes under each joke, like written out all the way through word for word. So this is the first time I wrote every joke that I had. And I swear I sat at my table for like
Didn't it
a week
surprise you?
straight, just writing every joke on a cue card. And I didn't have enough space on my large table. And I'm like,
Flex on them.
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, now I gotta fucking put it
Rearrange,
in
yeah.
order.
Yeah.
And after all that, I was like, man, there's still too much.
Still, that's the fun part,
So
though.
goddamn funny. Like, oh, fuck. How
That's
do I
the fun
deal with
part,
this?
though, is like finding out what sequence works for that room and for that moment.
Yeah. But it was also like considering that there's gonna be camera, there's gonna be recordings, there's gonna be people that have seen me before, people that haven't. I needed to give
A variety.
variety of
Podcast P
things.
was live show P.
Yo, what?
Live show P.
Podcast P was running the shit. We had like all these other cameramen coming through, and he's like, "Listen, I need you to do this," and he's just bossed up. Like, I need you to. I
Got
need
his
you over
white man
here.
voice.
Yeah.
Put his white man voice on. I feel.
I'm
you.
telling you,
He
this
said,
guy
"I've
got
been here
this guy
before."
got the freaking military fade. It was like Sergeant Slaughter
Oh,
out
he
there,
got,
bro.
you got the fade before the show.
Yeah.
buddy. He
is-
cool, man.
You slide dog. I know what you're trying to do. I see.
The slow transformation,
You
man.
sick
We
motherfucker.
see you. We see you.
It will all be mine.
That boy trying to get some live show pussy. That's crazy. That's crazy. He's like, oh, they'll be laughing. That's a what is it?
Aphrodisiac.
Aphrodisiac. I almost called it an endorphin. I'm like, what the, that's not an endorphin, nigga.
I guess it could be.
Is it?
Yeah, endorphins make you happy.
Yeah, I guess, but that's not the one I wanted the horny one.
The aphrodisiac.
Yeah,
got you.
How was your week?
Well,
bro?
proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you, man.
You
I
know?
appreciate it.
I'm sad that I wasn't able to come.
Same.
Don't worry, guys.
But I was at my. That was a
Another one?
good reason I didn't come. I was at my sister's b-day dinner.
And
Shout
I
out
was
to
working.
Allison.
I was working.
Yeah.
And then once I finished, I was exhausted.
I thought you guys were gonna say Thanksgiving dinners and shit. But
No.
So I was working.
Thanksgiving dinners. Who does that? If somebody does that on a Saturday, they lied to you. They did not want to come. That's crazy. Who does Thanksgiving on the Saturday?
I don't know.
That
I know a
is-
couple of people who have.
Yeah.
They
Well, yeah,
vegan?
I guess it's always Sunday and Monday, right?
They
Usually.
vegans, man. They vegans.
Maybe it's just because of schedules.
Seventh
Maybe
Day
some
Adventists.
people's. Maybe.
Maybe 7 Day Adventists. That's when they all home on
Saturday,
Saturdays.
Only makes
sundown
sense, you
service.
know?
Imagine being 7th Day Adventist as a child in the 90s and just missing Fox Kids Saturday mornings like a loser because of God. Idiot.
Up, man. Shut the
No,
Wrong one.
no. Oh, that's the one.
You're bringing up my childhood, man. Like, that was everything, man.
This nigga miss X-Men. That sucks.
Bro, X-Men. I miss X-Men. All
Spider-Man.
Saturday morning cartoons. Friday nights at the mall. Like every time I went to the
yeah,
mall
no.
on a Friday night, I would get in trouble.
I miss Friday nights.
You know what I'm saying?
I miss Friday night anything.
GC.
No, forget the mall. Anything Friday nights was just
Pourquoi?
strict church parents.
Okay,
They
but-
know what happens on Friday nights.
Oh, yeah.
And also, we had church.
Church on Fridays, I
Wednesday,
remember
Friday,
that.
Sunday.
Wednesday, Friday, Sunday?
That's the type of church I was
Yeah.
a part of. Wednesday, Friday, Sunday.
We did Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and this one like Vesper meeting in between.
Yeah,
And
one
the other-
Tuesday was like a random
Yeah,
Tuesday in the month. They do
We're
like
gonna
an
have
extra.
GC is 7-day Baptist, and so he talks about how his like kids. I don't know.
Seventh Day Baptist. What does
I
that
don't know.
even mean?
I don't know.
That's
7-day
different.
but Baptist.
Yeah, they still
They-
believe in the 7-day Sabbath, but it's
Yeah,
not as
seven-
like anal, not so like.
Isn't that
okay, you
weird
can't-
that there's different
you could
names
actually
for the
play.
same
You
religion?
could actually play
It
drums
is.
in our church.
Apostolic.
They did.
In the
did.
in the 7-day Adventist church is like no drums, just
What?
mad solemn, just keep it really, really walk softly in the
Well,
sanctuary.
wait, like drums are bad?
It's considered almost secular to some, in like it's too rhythmic and can take
Makes
over
your
the soul.
The drums
Body
are
moves.
Yeah,
nuts.
yeah, it doesn't become
No, that's a
spiritual
fact.
anymore. It
For-
becomes
yeah,
just
tribal.
dance and tribal and like, you know.
But that's a part of the thing. Like it's so funny when you're like in Christianity, it seems so normal.
Yeah.
When you're out of it, it's like it seems so culty.
It's mad
It's like
cultish.
it's very. I don't know if it's like you just gaining more knowledge on me, just gaining more knowledge on like other religions and how and drawing similarities from cults to the church, which maybe are not fair, but. Like, for example, I remember when I was going to church, communion was very normal. Like, I was like, yeah, you yam some crackers, drink some little red juice.
You guys didn't have to do the washing of the feet, did you?
Yeah, we
you
did that
did that,
like once a month.
Yeah, okay.
Like niggas would wash each other's feet and shit. I just watched. I had a fetish. I didn't get it. And plus I was a kid. I think you had to be like baptized or have the Holy Ghost or something
Yeah,
like
you had
that
to be
do
baptized to
some
do
of
that,
these
yeah.
stuff. Yeah. I didn't get communion like crackers and juice until I got baptized.
Yeah, it's just Welch's, bro. It's just
Yeah, I know,
fermented
yeah.
grape juice
But
and
it's
like
his blood.
pie crust.
But they say it's his blood.
Yeah.
And that's his flesh. Now, as a kid, I was like, okay, I get it. The flesh, the word, yada, yada, yada. But now I'm out of it. I'm like, that's creepy. That's fucking weird.
That was like the original shot for me. I like because they give it to you in that little shot glass. You take your shot. And
Some Peardax.
You know, I take it back. I'm just like, I remember like as a youngin', I'd take it back like, Welch's tastes so good. I just like,
Jesus, tastes so
I
good.
would like lick the inside of.
Oh my god! You too?
I'm just licking the
I did
inside
that. That's so
of
funny.
the shot glass.
Because it would never finish.
Yeah,
You'd
there's always that
see
little bit left.
bit left.
And you wanted it all because it was just so small,
It
just so
tasted
little.
so good too. Yeah, no, for sure. Bring it down.
Yeah.
And
And
popping. Popping.
And even the so my aunt used to make the bread, the holy bread for communion, and it was just pretty much pie crust when you think about it. And then after you bless it and the pastor blesses it, whatever's left over and they don't use, you have to throw it away. Or not throw it away, you have to bury it. There's like this whatever
Like
ritual. But me and my homie, he was the son of the woman that made it. We just found the stash and we just grabbed the whole stash of holy bread
and just
and
eat it.
fucking just chilled eating it like crackers with
Yeah.
cheese and like hot dogs and shit.
Very nice.
I never I went to a Catholic school, so for high school. So because I wasn't Catholic, we could never take the communion.
Those
and
little
stuff like
round,
Did they
those
treat you
round
different?
crisps.
Did they treat you like outsiders?
Yeah, pretty much.
So funny.
Yeah, if you when we had to go to church, pretty much I think it was every month we would have like a service
One
that
mass.
one mass that everybody had to go to. And so
mass.
if you were not Catholic, you just had to like stay in the seats, and everybody else would go up and take communion. And if you tried to, people would like call you up like, "You're not Catholic." Wow. Yeah, so I just sat there.
I hate that shit.
You're not Catholic.
Yeah.
Outsider. Just pointing at you. What happened this week? Patricia Jaggernauth.
Yep.
That's
This
how you
week,
say her last name.
Patricia Jaggernauth. Is that it?
No, you're right.
That's it, right?
But for the longest time, I was like, is it Yager? Or is it-
Jaggernauth?
Yeah, Yager.
Jaggernauth?
No, Jaggernauth.
No.
Jaggernauth. That's a different one.
No.
Jaggernauth.
Yaga. Yeah, no. Patricia Jaggernauth. She's been on
CP24.
She's been on CP24 for 11 years.
Yes, the weather girl. She did.
She's the everything
Yeah,
girl.
I've seen her do so many
Swiss
things.
Army knife for the CP24. Does a little bit of everything.
You remember
and-
that those chiclets, those really really bright white, perfect smile chiclets.
Oh, the teeth. Yes, the smile, the infamous smile. I've
She
been
was
seeing
always so
her.
happy.
yeah.
I've been seeing her even before that. When I was
used
a
to see her
promoter
at auditions all the time.
At auditions?
with her mother.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt it. Her mom, her mom be very supportive.
Ride or die.
Ride or die for sure. I saw her for the first time when I was working at government, RIP. And
she a
was
bottle
doing
girl
a
too?
nightclub. She was doing a nightclub TV show. So it was like they had like it was like a 1 season thing. I don't think it lasted. Where it was like it's street interviews from people in Toronto nightlife.
Yeah, when people had like DVD magazines back in the day.
Yeah. So she'd walk around with a cameraman and video light, and she'd be in the club, like, or outside the club, interviewing people, talking about the night and whatnot. And like, you could tell even then how like professional she was trying to be. It was like, even for something that seemed like wasn't that serious.
Yeah.
Like you could see she was bringing a level of professionalism to it, and she's about the job, and I've never not seen her like that. Like every time I've seen her, she's been working, or in a room networking. You know what I mean? So this news about her leaving Bell Media, and filing a racial discrimination?
Yes.
Suit? A human rights.
Human rights complaint.
Human rights complaint. Because they've been using her for 11 years without giving her a full-time salary position, and the benefits came way later on after a lot of begging almost. It seems like it came to a point where she had to literally almost beg for some of the help, especially when it came to a mental aspect. They had like a mental health episode where she broke down, and only after then, even then, nobody reached out to her. She still had to reach out for more benefits. Now, with the benefits, they had offered her a therapist at some point, which she turned down because she didn't trust.
It's because they so after she had her breakdown and she was in the hospital, I think it's at the same time, and she reached out to HR to, get talk therapy. They suggested the Bell approved therapist.
Yeah.
And so she said she didn't really trust it, and I get that because
Completely.
Yeah.
like
Especially as a black person.
like why wouldn't I just go get my own therapist? Like, that
it's
makes no
like,
sense.
Bell, let's talk. Hello? Like, come on, really?
Well, I
This
understand
then-
why not getting your own therapist, as in like not just any, because obviously it's on the company's dime, but like give me a list at least, like,
To choose from?
Even as not someone who's a part of a company. If you're trying to find a therapist, they say it's like dating,
Yeah.
where like you got to find someone that kind of speaks your language. It's not necessarily like, oh, I got a therapist and they all are good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, so she wanted to just have her own, and they also gave her a 3-month like window to be able to use this opportunity to talk to somebody. And so she just feels like that wasn't fair, you know, because a lot of times you can't solve a problem within 3 months anyways, you know, depending on like
problem,
depending on how like deep it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, so she's claiming that within her 11 years, she was a freelancer for most of it.
Let's
and then
start
we'll start with the freelancing.
Let's start there. Is that
11
was that
years
wrong?
of freelance?
Is that wrong?
For 11 years of freelance, well,
Who's it wrong? Whose part is it wrong on?
Well, okay, it depends. If you choose to be a freelancer, because sometimes there's opportunities that you're allowed to, more opportunities you're allowed to have as a freelancer, right? Because you're not completely tied down to one company. But if she didn't want that, then that's their fault, because she has expressed that she's applied for multiple positions within the company and that it's not like she doesn't have experience. So that is on the company for what she says is not seeing value in her, because they would never give her a full-time contract. And for a lot of companies that don't give people like full-time positions, it has to do with the benefits though, because like the extra stuff that they have to pay for, it's a lot of money, and sometimes they're just like,
But
Bell has the money, but
that
And
is
for somebody
null and
that's
void
Bell
too.
as a whole, how do you say it? Conglomerate.
Conglomerate.
Of course they have money, but maybe in terms of what they give for specific like media outlets and stuff like that, they might not have the budget.
I mean, come on. At
think
10th
they have the
year, they
budget.
could have given her something like, thank you.
I think they got more than enough
freelance.
budget.
Yeah.
They taking all our money. I think they got more than enough budget.
I definitely think that if she had applied for multiple positions, and they keep telling her like, yeah, we love you, and there's nothing wrong, then that's on them to have not made her.
You made a great point where it's like, if there's an advantage to freelancing where you can work in multiple places. You're not tied down to one conglomerate. However, at a certain point, which was much later on, granted, she was no longer allowed to work outside of Bell
they asked her to
because
stop.
they
That's
had
when
unionized.
they unionized.
Yeah, they had unionized I guess the year before last year.
2019, I think it was.
Yeah, it was 2019. Okay, so 2019 they unionized, and from that point on, she wasn't allowed to seek outside work.
So I've heard from multiple people who do work for the company, and it goes for a lot of companies. My company, I have to approve things too. When you're doing outside work, they want to make sure that it's not a conflict of interest.
Yeah.
And when you do sign some type of, our lights are going out. When you do, it was something over here. When you do have some type of contract, that.
We got to keep the movement. You got to keep the movement because it's censored. It goes off every 20 minutes. Yeah.
When
Every
they
20 minutes, y'all see us do this. You know what time
we
it
just
is.
want the lights to go back on. Shit, now I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, like usually when you're signing that contract to work at the company, it will say, you know, we don't want you to do anything that could be a conflict of interest within it. So,
or hurt the company name, all that stuff.
Yeah. So with her being a freelancer, it's like, okay, I'm a freelance, so I'm able to do all these other things. But when you do have a union, they make it more strict. And so for her, it is an L, because now you can't, take that extra work. And I've heard from other people who have or do work from Bell is that they have to get everything approved.
Yep.
And some people are more lenient. I heard if you're in the news category, you can't do any other outside partnerships. Even though these people are getting followings and stuff like that, they're not allowed to do anything, just news. And then if you work on sports, you can, but you have to get it approved. If you do entertainment, you can, but get it approved. So for her being in the news section.
Which is not unusual. we should point out. I don't think that's unusual.
Getting things approved.
Getting things, especially when you're talking about, you said like news, especially like I've never seen any news person on any show outside of the news.
I know when Jennifer Shung, she was a comedian. She became, one of the anchors.
Ain't seen her do stand up once.
She had to stop. She had to stop. She had to give up her comedy career.
I noticed because I was like, yo, that she was one of the people I seen frequently. Yeah. And then as soon as she got on the news again, because she was on the news before, I believe.
They cut it. I guess because they want you to stay neutral in everything.
Yeah, I think they want the public to have a certain view of you.
Yeah, which
where
kind of
it's
sucks.
Unbiased. It's like you don't have any bias because you're just it's very rare that you'll see a news anchor invested one way or another on a topic. Like they kind of just bring it up.
Well, when you're on the news, you're not allowed to. I think that's the rule.
I think it depends on the network.
It's not think. Yeah, if it's Fox,
if it's
say,
local,
fuck it.
if it's local, you're a robot. If it's local, you're a robot. If you're global, if you're
like
national,
CNN, like if it is debate, you know what I mean. But for like CP24, they're reporting the news, and so it's like you're supposed to just non-biased, and that's a part of being a journalist. I'm pretty sure there's something that you have to like sign and say that.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
kind of like a doctor, like a therapist, or you're just like, oh, like, none of things gets out, kind of.
No,
thing.
like no matter what you believe, like that can't be.
You can't show bias. You can't show bias to one or the other. Yeah. So even when it comes, especially when it comes to like political things, you're not supposed to show favor in one side or the other, right?
I think even their voices are designed to be like that too.
Yeah, you're supposed to stay one tone,
monotone kind of thing.
You can't, because that's a way that you can sway people.
Chilling news today, and
God damn these bugs, motherfucker. Hi, welcome back here to. God damn, so good.
And for Patricia, it really does suck that the union part came and messed it up, and she said she was able to get a part-time position where she only worked 2 days out of, like, she would only get 2 concrete days that she was working, and then everything else was fill-in.
On call,
Yeah, and that sucks as well, because a lot of the times with news, they're working 12 hours, and she was complaining about turnover time, so they might have you out working until 2 a.m. and then try to make you come in for 6 a.m.
And it's a little different from normal freelancers, where it's like freelance work, normally you kind of get some notice, you know what I mean? Like with her, it must have been week to week. You don't know, maybe even day to day.
No,
you don't know what's gonna happen. Like they might need you on
call.
You're on call, but like on call in a different way. Like it's literally on call.
Something happened. We need you on site now.
Usually when you have on-call jobs, it's like the next day type of thing. You know what I mean? At least you could be like, oh, okay, I got to switch around these plans. But with her, it's like she could be on the way somewhere and get a call.
Well, yeah, if something was to happen to one of the full-time people, say they got sick or they were like, yo, I got to, God forbid, an accident, I'm on the way there, and we need somebody on call, then, she might get called up. But I feel like she would have had a day notice. Usually for like vacation days or personal days that people have taken off, they usually have enough. But if they need somebody.
Isn't there so many anchors where like people can fight over like, no, I want the scoop. Let me cover this one.
Yeah, I don't think they get to choose.
The thing is that she wasn't even... She's not an anchor.
She's not one of the mains.
Right, you know what I mean? And that was one of her problems as well, is that they just kept her within that box, I'm
not gonna lie, it's definitely unfair. I wouldn't even say unfair. It's not nice to put her in that position. Why I won't say it's unfair is because they are free to do whatever they want to contractually. That's just what it is. And if you've been in this however long, it goes back to that term we learned that a couple episodes ago, where it's like the amount of time you invest into something does not mean that you shouldn't leave if it's not serving you anymore. Some people go, oh, I've been in this relationship 5 years. I can't just leave now. Like, and they're not happy.
They feel like you're stuck. Yeah, you have to keep going. You know?
Exactly. And go ahead. I was
going to say, especially if she was told like, you're doing great and we love having you and stuff like that. But there has to be a point where you're just like, all right, this is enough. For me personally, I wouldn't have lasted 11 years.
And how much of it is also people just saying things just to say it, and they didn't really mean it? And
A lot of the times.
So,
People
like,
will
let-
gas you up to try to keep you all the time. You
But
know what
also,
I mean?
like, what if they truly think she's not actually qualified and they just don't know how to break it down in a way that will?
They know how to break it down. I think it's more so she became a convenient Swiss Army knife. Like she's the one that you can call when everything's going awry,
And she'll
or
show up.
She'll show up every time, and it's
It's such an unfortunate situation to be in because you're like, you want that person and that person is so deserving of everything, but like because they're the only ones that are willing to do that, they just get stuck in that role.
Well, even more so hard because it's your dream. This is what you love, and
So
this
you're
is
willing
the
to do
agency
whatever you
that
do.
in the city. Like in terms of the city's news, CB24 is where we go. Global, God bless CBC, do your thing. But
Omni One, baby.
CB24 is literally the main, like is our CNN, essentially.
And that's unfortunate because we don't have, and this is for all media,
Yep.
you know, because
Yep.
like even with me, it's like I started off at the biggest market. Toronto's the biggest market for media, whether it's TV or radio or
14 million
anything
people,
between, you know what I mean? So you are here and you're on the biggest channels and there's not much more places that you can go and the opportunity is not there. So I understand why she would have stayed for 11 years because she's like, shit, where else am I gonna go? You know what I mean? Like I'm at the best and let me just hope.
Start
But
TVO
also for
News,
me,
nigga.
I'm just like, yo, I'm not, cause I'm just, I don't know.
But you'd think there would have been all these other, networks knocking on her door saying, hey, man, well, then come to us because we'd love to have
But
you.
who knew that was a problem until now?
I'm saying, but
like you said, she was always the girl smiling, and you thought she was an anchor. She'd be on TV so much that you really genuinely think she had this job. Like I didn't think anything otherwise.
Nobody really knows who's freelance and not freelance because we don't, like most of the time they don't discuss that.
But that's a part of the trick.
Yeah.
That's a part of it. There's a lot of things these corporations do to be sneaky and make sure they can fuck people over. Like, for example, the whole you're not allowed to talk about your pay thing. Why?
Because then they don't want to have to pay people
Properly.
Yeah.
There's no other reason you could say that. So as soon as you start saying that, I'm like, okay, you're sneaky. I get it.
Yeah. Well, that's one thing that she complained about as well is that her pay, she wasn't getting enough to even live.
She got
Like,
she said $14 raise over 11 years.
$14?
Yeah. I
But
think
that's
what
like
she said.
government mandated raise, no? I would
She
think
said
over the
that her
past, like, 10 years.
first raise was 5 years after, and then she hasn't seen anything again until they got maybe unionized. Because usually with union they raise what you have, but she was saying that it's not even enough for.
See, and then you, this is the thing about keeping up appearances. And going back to that vulnerability talk we were having earlier, where it's like, if you go look at her page, people are not going to think she's struggling.
Absolutely not.
She looks affluent. She looks like she's loving life because of that big smile. She's always got on some beautiful dresses. Like
She has designer bags.
Everything looks like
she's living the
shit
life.
is great. And look at what she's been going through for over a decade. It's not even like a year. Over a decade.
Yeah.
Everybody thought this girl was living nice. Like I guess that's one of the things about being vulnerable and why I say it can be used against you is because of things like that. Where it's
Kindness is taken for weakness.
kindness is taken for weakness. You've fallen into the Instagram culture of showing only the highlights. And so people automatically lose that empathy a little bit when your situation is just as bad as maybe anybody else's, you know what I mean? So that's why I was like, yo, the vulnerability thing could get thrown back in your face. Because right now, I remember the couple of the first arguments I seen was, oh, she never did anything in the black community with us. Like, only time we see her is Carabana. Now she's black. She has black issues.
Did she make it I remember seeing it, but was it was a focal point about her being black, or was it just like
well, I think
not
for
being
me,
respected?
I thought it was a woman. I thought the human rights complaint was as a woman because she said even her woman counterparts also are getting paid less than the male counterparts in the same position.
she like in the video
but
that
she mixed in race in there.
Yeah. She was specifically talking about being a black woman,
Like
and
she
then she
being
said
tokenized,
other BIPOC
Yeah, she said
people, because she was like talking about the morning show, and she was like, you don't see any black like permanent folks on Belle's morning show, on CP24's morning
Well,
show.
I was gonna say, like, they just. Well, maybe, actually, is that Breakfast Television? I know they hired John Paul.
It might have been a different one.
Yeah, maybe that's.
John Paul's on Breakfast Television.
This is Breakfast Television.
Yeah, but
right?
he's like.
And he's peppered. He's
but Devo is a regular. Devo's a regular.
That's on Breakfast Television as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, Breakfast Television has a little bit more diversity for like everything across the board.
For sure. I was almost on there.
There you go.
But then BT and CP24 are like two totally different things.
Yeah, they're owned by two different companies and stuff like that.
You can tell just by the way they talk.
Yeah, that's for
It's
sure.
a lot warmer over here at BT.
But yeah, she definitely threw out the whole black card.
I had been treated like a token and a commodity by CP24 and Bell. Passed over for promotions more times than I can count. I was just a filler for Bell, throwing a breadcrumb so I would just stop asking for more. Wow.
You know,
and that's the other thing too.
She should have waited for. I was gonna say though, she should have waited for Bell Talk, because Bell Talk would have to fucking give in.
I mean, I think she picked a very strategically good day. It was a Thanksgiving. Everyone's home. I saw it. I don't know about you guys. I know I seen a lot of my friends in the comments that saw it. So it's like she picked a good time to let this out. And I mean, she probably was just finished with it. Like she didn't want to get too strategic with it. Probably she's just like, yo, I got to get this off my chest.
Yeah, because she put it on the Tuesday and then it came out by Friday or something like that, or Thursday. I don't know.
We're seeing
were those real tears?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know her well enough to be like, but
I didn't want to see her cry.
I felt bad. Like this is what I hate about the internet now. It's like people make videos about like their strife or their grief or trauma, whatever they're going through. And we've seen so many fakes. We've seen so many people just full of shit. That
so now it's like we don't even know.
We're just watching it to be like,
is it real or is it not?
It's like body
the
language.
Boy Who Cried Wolf, man.
I watch body language experts.
Yeah.
So I would love to watch them analyze
all these videos.
Like
Come on, Dr. Ekman, we need you.
There's this one bald guy on YouTube. You guys should check him out. Every time celebrities make apology videos, he analyzes it, tells you when they're lying, when they're not. It's incredible, and everything makes sense. But yeah, for her, that video was sad. There's a trend going on with Canadian, not media, but like news specifically. With black people just leaving.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
or making their own thing.
Brandon Gonez.
Kayla's got her own show on The Shift now,
but she's still a part of TSN.
Oh yeah, she's a part of history. She's making it over there.
Yeah.
But there's something about, I think, the news specifically. When you talk about Lisa LaFlamme, we talk about Brandon Gonez. We haven't gotten Brandon's story yet.
Would you like to?
I'm wondering if he can, because it's like, it's the news you can use, and he hasn't used it. Brandon is the news you can use, and he hasn't used that story yet. So I'm wondering if it's a legality thing or if he just doesn't feel like it.
Well, maybe he signed an NDA, because usually when you leave, but he didn't get fired. Especially when you get fired, that's when they make you sign the NDA, and they're like, you can't. And then they give you like stipends.
Stipulations.
I don't remember what it's called. It's not. It starts with S though.
Yeah, severance.
Severance, yes. That's what they give. They give you severance, and in order to get your severance, you have to sign the NDA.
But sometimes when you leave too, because you're leaving for a reason.
So I can talk as much shit, and you can't do shit to me.
Keep your money.
Hello.
I will talk.
93.5.
Yeah, the original one, not the new one.
So we can talk
they didn't
about
do
them.
shit.
They don't even exist anymore. Y'all niggas got consumed.
But yeah, I think Brandon was just kind of tired of not having the opportunities, and this is from conversations that I have had with him, like not being able to accept the opportunities. You know, his platform was growing, like individual personal brand was growing a lot. He has a great personality. He's very colorful when he talks and stuff like that. And obviously it's not you can't be like that when you're talking about the news and stuff. you know, he would go viral for dirty weather.
Dirty storm.
Like, yeah,
This
and
why
they probably
these-
liked it. They
actually
probably
like it.
liked it for a minute, but then they're probably like, okay, we need you to just go back. You know what I mean? Because when it's like getting viral, and then they're like, oh, you see CP24, the brand everywhere, but then it's like you don't also invest. And Brandon probably had other goals where he wanted to maybe be an anchor, because he was an anchor. He was just a reporter and covered, like, filled in weather and stuff like that as well. So
they're idiots.
you know, maybe he wanted to
They're
be an
idiots.
anchor or have his own show, and they were just not interested in it. So
Your
Sign the
star is
man,
too
yo.
bright. We
Sign
can't have
the
this.
man.
You
Yeah.
gotta blend in, Brandon. Fuck that. Like this, yo.
It's
The
like it's
news
like
is one of the
NBA
most
players
corrupt
going to
things
college or something. Like, no, you're not a superstar no more. Fall within the system.
It's not even that. It's more so like, yo, we're not paying these high school kids and college kids.
Yeah.
For years they said that. Now
Yeah.
they got to, and look at these kids shining.
yeah,
Shining,
Getting
blinging.
huge deals,
Huge Nike
making
deals in grade 12.
thousands
Fucks with
of
it.
dollars.
I love it. I love it.
It's good. But so this is kind of reflective. I'm wondering what Patricia's going to do if she's going to try to start her own platform as well. And when you think about it,
Brandon got to
I was-
collect everybody like fucking Infinity Stones. They
yeah,
gotta,
for his network.
Patricia,
Yeah.
Lisa,
The Gonez
the
Network.
Gonez Network.
Gonez Media, baby.
He has it. Is it Gonez Media? GMI. Yeah, Gonez Media Incorporated.
GMI sounds like an STD. It's infectious.
I was talking to one of my friends, and she said that, you know, TV isn't paying the same, you know.
Oh yeah.
Digital will be getting you way more money. So I just started thinking, like, a lot of the times when you're in media, you try to go after those big brands because it kind of certifies who you are.
Oh yeah.
you know?
Credibility.
Yeah, when you're tied to that, it just like looks good, right?
Yeah.
The lists,
Even
the
though-
lineups get shorter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just
Sorry.
it doesn't mean as much. Like, it means a lot, but it doesn't. Like, you don't get paid as much anymore. You can't have like all the opportunities, and so it's like,
The whole appeal of TV is definitely like weakening for sure, especially because of the streaming services and like the ability to just binge your own show. Like cable's becoming obsolete. You know
Nobody
what I mean?
wants fucking ads. Like, nobody wants commercials.
Well, you're gonna get them on streaming
yeah,
services.
Well,
you're gonna get it everywhere.
However, but they're not like in the same format as old style ads on television. Like,
I think they are. I think people just don't realize it because it's on a different screen. Like when you look at YouTube
not
ads
not
before they
3-4 minutes straight until like commercial break is over. Like you could skip the second
yeah, you can
one,
skip
know
them.
what I mean?
Yeah, but I mean, like
So-
in terms of like the way that they're shooting the ads now, they look like I was on YouTube the
Oh,
other day.
they
and I'm
look like
it
regular
looks like
commercials. They're just like sped up. Like boom, we only got 5 seconds. Hurry up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have 15
Yeah.
seconds to do it
They
instead of
condense
like
them.
30 or like, you know,
I did
7.
a commercial like that, and it was so weird on set shooting like that.
Was that the
short.
mental one?
No, it was one where I'm like, wait, which mental one?
Weren't you on a Mentos commercial?
Oh, Mentos. No, not Mentos. No. It was a commercial about like a kids after school programs or something like that. And then I had a son, and I'm an engineer, and he comes in and squirts me the water gun while I'm working on electronics.
Yes,
And
yes.
Smoke fills the room and shit. It was a great little YouTube ad, but it was shot. We shot it so quick, and I'm like, that's
it.
I'm like, yep. I'm like, I get paid this much for
Jeez.
that?
Yeah.
Craziness. So
Yeah.
these ads, they're getting more creative with them too. We're about to speak, especially when Google Glasses become like more mainstream and become normal. You're gonna see ads just walking down the street.
Yeah.
like in AR. Augmented reality is gonna be very, very
I'll be looking at your
trivial.
looking straight into your eyes, and then out of your pupil will be a freaking a Nike logo or some shit.
You know what? I went to this place called Little Canada. I don't know if you guys ever
I
heard
seen
of it.
I seen your story. It
Yeah.
looked dope.
Canada.
Yeah, no. So I didn't even know this existed. And
mini Toronto.
this non-for-profit Kids Up Front, it's actually really dope. They give kids and like deserving kids and family tickets. So say you have extra tickets to whatever, the Raptors game, you can donate it to that charity, and then they'll give it to the kids. And they work with like Boys and Girls Club and all of that shit. So
That's
Kids
Niagara
Up
Falls.
Front, Kids Up Front Toronto, like definitely if you have extra tickets for anything, please donate them because I love what they're trying to do. But anyway, so like me, Kayla, Jamal McGluer, Savannah Ray, and a couple of other people. We did this kind of PSA commercial thing for them. And for their anniversary event, they brought us to this place called Little Canada. And it's literally a little Canada built. Well, right now they're mainly focused on Ontario because it has already taken, the guy came up with the idea 11 years ago, and it's taken 8 years to build out most of Ontario.
Damn.
And it's just like a miniature place in like kind of to like scale and stuff like that.
This is insane.
And
detail.
it like move, like if you're just
moves?
like some things move. There was one carnival thing where it's like all of a sudden you hear kids like playing and the carnival sounds and like the Ferris wheel is going around.
I gotta go see
and
this.
Yeah,
looks
like
so sick.
you have like, you can look at these little details and you see like on the rooftop this guy and girl kissing, and like they throw in these little gems. There was one place in the Niagara Falls, you know how it goes down the Niagara Falls, you can be on the boat with if you look in this little cave thing, that clown and the little kid from
It?
Yeah, you see that just like in there. They threw out like these little gems,
sick.
and it's like the roads, there's cars that like move. They actually
my
move and they keep
God.
going in a loop, and it's like fire engines and like all these different cars.
no, I gotta
and
go
they're
see
like
this.
it's so dope. And you can go to the control panel, like a mini control panel, and it's behind, and they'll explain everything, how it works and how the cars move on this magnetic thing, and they have batteries, and it's honestly so fucking dope.
Yeah,
and it's only gonna
crazy.
get more dope, so you have to keep returning, because right now they only have Ontario, and so they're trying to build out like the Little East, which would be like PEI, Nova Scotia, and all that stuff. And then they'll do like the mid Saskatchewan, and then they're going to be doing Vancouver. But I'm super excited for like BC and Alberta because I've been there, and I like the mountains. It's so beautiful. And they said
You're
that
very
they're
excited about
actually, yes, because it's that dope. It's that dope.
We're
Okay.
gonna check it out. We're gonna definitely check it out. Where is it?
It's at Yonge and Dundas. You know where the
You
know where the movie theater is?
Oh, nice.
There
That's
used to be a
spot
Good
for it,
Life.
too.
There used to be a Good Life down there. So if you go down there, it's there, and it
right
like
beside
takes
Chipotle,
over.
y'all.
Right beside Tim Hortons and stuff like that as well. I don't know where the Chipotle is.
The
I don't
Chipotle is
remember.
right beside it. Right where you're talking
No,
about.
but it's downstairs.
Yeah,
like
no.
in the
Chipotle
actual
right there.
building.
Yeah, Chipotle right there.
Okay, yeah, it's on the street. Got it.
You were gonna say
but
something.
I was gonna say about the water. So they didn't do it with Niagara Falls because they couldn't get it to scale, the little water droplets, but they're trying to make it so when you look at like the Pacific Ocean and like all the lakes and stuff that they have, it's actual water. So they're trying to develop how they can like make
This will
it
be
and make
interesting.
it to like scale.
It's a
with
nice
everything.
little thing to do during the winter, especially like a little date night. You want something to do. This looks dope, man.
They said they
Definitely
have
go check it out.
workshops and stuff like that.
$24 million miniature replica of Canada. And
It
this is the
took-
guy. This is the guy?
Yep.
This white dude?
Yep.
That's sick, man.
So
8
million.
years.
so far for what they have, I think it was like 22,000 hours of work or something. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's a
but
life's body of
it's
work.
not gonna matter once the nuke hits. So what are we doing about the nuke, guys?
What?
The nukes are coming, guys. Yeah, the nukes are coming.
World War
Like
Trays.
Putin is not joking around.
Oh.
Vibes Cartel said press that button no, and he's like, all right. He's very serious. I'm not even joking. And Toronto was a target.
What?
Yeah. There's a
do
couple
this.
of major
I'm
cities that are
scared.
targets.
I'm scared.
You should be. No, I'm not even like I
kidding?
wish I was joking, but I'm like actually deathly serious. We could all die like next week.
Stop.
I'm not joking.
I don't want to cry.
A nuke?
It
First of
will
all, a nuke
take
hitting
us-
New York, we're done.
Yeah.
Much less hitting Toronto, we're super done.
Yeah.
Yo, man.
And he's not joking in the slightest.
Fuck.
Like, what would you do if that were to like? What do you do?
Because they also have North Korea to go along with them too, right? So if like,
They could wipe out the entire Western
and that's
world.
Hemisphere?
The entire Western world could be just gone next week if America doesn't stop tempting this guy, pushing his buttons.
and do remember, America was the first people to use a nuke. You know, they were the first ones to use the atomic
Japan.
bomb.
I mean,
in
you
Japan.
reap what you sow.
So,
Fuck
like,
Einstein.
I
All my
mean-
niggas hate Einstein. Sorry. I had
It
to
really
let that
does
out.
suck that we're so close to New York.
Yeah.
Because we could have the effects. And if it's not like, we might not all get wiped out, but we could have the nuclear, you know.
Oh, the fallout
Side
gonna
effects.
hit
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
We're finished. We're done.
No, that Ontario Lake is not gonna be fresh water.
I don't
no
think
more.
fallout
That's
even hits us. I think we still get impact, like completely erased. I think fallout happens like Yukon, Yellowknife, them areas, like north. You got to be north to even think of surviving this.
Oh my
Because the nuke already wiping people out. The
Is it?
fallout, then the radioactive. Oh, it's just nukes have like series. It's not like just one thing that happens. It's a whole bunch of shit, and your skin just gonna fall off.
I mean, Hiroshima's still feeling it. You know,
Still, there are places where they tested these nukes that had civilizations living there, and they can't return. Their entire country, home, history gone because of nukes that happened in like the 60s. You might have put it in the group.
I shared this video. I'm not sure what they were called again, but they were like
It's like a forgotten tribe or something like that.
the hills have eyes, guys.
No.
They said that they can't go home to
Yeah.
their country. Like they are.
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know. Pretty much like
refugees in perpetuity.
Refugees, but they're like, what's the word when you're not adopted?
An alien?
No.
Bastard?
You are, oh man, orphaned.
Yeah.
Oh, when you are
they're-
adopted.
When you aren't.
Oh, aren't adopted. Okay,
Yeah,
I
you're
see,
orphan.
shit. Orphan, yeah.
So they try to say that they're just like an orphan nationality.
nation.
whatever.
Yeah, orphan nation. Orphan nation?
Because they have to be everywhere else. Like they have to settle.
Well, why
other
don't they
places.
start a new
And
country
then I
called
don't even
Orphan?
think
That'd be
I don't even
sick.
think they're getting like citizenships. They won't even let them get real citizenships or whatever.
Because they
It
don't
was
have
crazy.
the paperwork from their other. Wow, that's
They just
fucking weird, man.
So it's sad. But anyways, life's too hard. So I don't understand why Putin wants to be this evil little.
He's probably
piece
not
of shit.
masturbating. That's what
Well-
happens. That's what happens when I don't masturbate. I feel like
Angry and you want
setting
to
off a
nuke the world.
nuke or two.
No.
Spice thinks masturbating is a sex demon.
Yeah, I see that.
I mean, she's very Jamaican.
Thank you. This is the most Jamaican shit I've ever heard in my life.
Masturbation is opium.
Masturbate for you, like growing up, you know, like to play with yourself. Was that ever an issue?
So I used to play with myself, but when I got older and I found out what comes with it, I stopped.
What comes with it?
The demons.
Yeah. I don't want people to think I'm crazy.
No,
See, you know,
it's there.
from
You know,
that point on, when you're already thinking to tell people and explain what you're talking about, because this is the thing, the Jamaicans will say things and never have to explain it. A lot of times they just say it, people take it for the shock value or for the joke and just move on. But when people ask you, break that down for me, and you gotta go, nah, people are gonna think I'm crazy. Guess what?
You just set yourself up.
Guess what?
when you masturbate, you're having sex with a sex demon, like, you know.
She's not lying. I am a sex demon.
I never heard that.
Pull it up on
Demon
your phone.
time.
It's a sex demon
was doing a
called
lot of
Incubus.
Googling. I've heard of
Incubus
Incubus.
and Succubus. So you have a male
Incubus.
sex demon and a female sex demon.
Okay.
So when
That's
you
the name of
masturbate,
that
you're
rock
having
band.
sex with the male
And
sex demon.
succubus.
Wow.
Yeah, and it also will be in a relationship with you and cause problem in your actual relationship.
Is that demon masturbation?
I don't know. Maybe
problem
you
in my actual
masturbate a
relationship,
lot.
but I masturbate a lot.
Yeah, my love. You have to look more than
Oh, here we
something I
go. It's
read.
on Twitter. Masturbation is sex with demons.
Incubus is a demon in male form in folklore that seeks to have sexual intercourse with sleeping women. The corresponding spirit in female form is called a succubus.
Dog, we've been bukkake all over demons our whole life, man.
The fact that first of all, unless she starts masturbating in her sleep, she's not fucking a demon. That's first of all. Second, this is from medieval European times.
Yeah.
European medieval times.
But you know, like,
That's anti-black. This is not my ministry. I do not subscribe to this thinking. This is
you know,
insane.
like real Caribbeans be having like the wildest thoughts about stuff.
Because we
like
freakiest freak.
Even when people die, I can't remember. It was Trinidad. They had some type of thing like superstition.
Oh yeah,
and you
there's
had
so
to
many.
do like you had to play dominoes or some shit. You had to play fucking cards or
you're not allowed to finish on a double six or they're going to hell.
We gotta play dominoes. It's only right. We have to pay our respects.
For real. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, you have to, or like the
That
spirit
is
will
fucking
rest and shit
funny.
like that. I'm like,
You need to lay down the ivory tiles.
wow.
You guys have got to play dominoes. Dominoes. Flick my bean. Oh, I am the sex demon Spice.
That is insane. Incubus. Let's get Incubus's take on. Let's see here. What do we got? Let's take Incubus's take on Draymond boxing Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole, you think you're so sexy, huh? Well, take a feel of this fist.
Okay, this got that got way too personal. Why do you gotta throw in his looks for?
Oh,
Because he's light skinned.
Norm be hating light-skinned niggas, yo. Norm got light-skinned nigga envy. Norm has light-skinned nigga envy.
I mean, I'm the dark-skinned Filipino that gets shitted on by the light-skinned Filipinos. So.
I feel like you have light-skinned nigga and envy, though.
No.
Every time you talk about a light-skinned nigga, you gotta make fun of him for thinking he's pretty. When you don't know if he think he's pretty.
We all know Jordan Poole think he's pretty,
See?
okay?
See? This is what guys do.
He ain't
I've
even that
experienced
pretty.
this my whole life. Oh, little pretty boy. Just because you're light-skinned. That's craziness. Stop the discrimination against us.
Just because I'm short doesn't mean I have a Napoleon complex. I don't assume people think that about me. I don't assume that
I
about
think people
all
think that about you.
Really?
Your name is Big Norm.
Well, that was because
I think you think that about
no.
you.
The whole thing was it's an oxymoron.
Gotcha.
My name is normal. I'm a little dude with a name Big.
But isn't that what a Napoleon complex is? Essentially, in its essence,
No,
an
a Napoleon.
oxymoron?
No, a Napoleon I guess
A little
in
man who
its
thinks
essence-
he's big.
Yeah, but that's the funny thing. It's just
I know you.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
you think of it that way, but I'm talking about people meeting you. I'm Big Norm.
No, you're not.
Like, oh, really? You're that type of short guy, huh?
yeah.
Okay,
And this
gotcha.
is my 6'9" friend Tiny. What's the big deal?
That's funny. Remember that? Was it the Green
Green
Bookers
Mile.
or Green Mile?
Yeah,
and his
yeah,
name
yeah.
was Tiny, and he was
Tiny.
huge.
That was his name.
Yeah, that was his nickname.
His
Wasn't
name
it?
was Tiny.
Yeah.
God damn. I was just talking about that movie the other day. That movie made me cry.
What
man.
about when Will Smith went to jail when he was trying to use the phone? And the big guy that went to high school with fucking Uncle Phil, his name was Tiny too.
Oh yeah.
It happened.
They fought so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. And the guy just comes in. Hello, Pharaoh. Yo, when the first time I saw that episode and that guy started singing,
Yeah.
I laughed like wet. Like last
last
Tears
week?
are dripping. Like, oh my God, that shit was so funny to me. And then especially when he breaks into the song and dance. And then he just stops.
That's funny.
Puts his hand up. That shit was epic. Back when Will Smith didn't slap people. Good times. Good times.
Or make
Hold on. What is
emancipation?
happening? Well, real quick though, what is happening with Draymond now? After all that,
Draymond,
He's getting
he's gonna be
suspended?
He said
stepping
he's
away
stepping
from
away.
the Warriors for a few weeks. That means 2. That means 2 weeks. And yeah,
And they're not
Jordan
reprimanding
Poole
him?
has no apparent visible marks. So it leads me to believe, how hard was the punch?
yo, it would look like a good Superman punch.
Look like a death brother.
Yeah.
He looked like he's punched people so many times before that he knew what was gonna happen because he punched the youth and then immediately grabbed him.
No, he went
Before
straight into
he
Greco-Roman wrestling, right into the right into the wall where this guy was just curled up.
He's had some sort of fighting training,
Bro, that was
because
that was good
punch.
form. Man.
He knew
First
that it
of
was.
all, Jordan pushed him and didn't push him.
He pushed him and pushed himself back.
Yo. And I was like, oh, Draymond a tank. I seen
was
Draymond
nuts.
pause for a second. He said, I was like, that in that 1 second, you can't hear audio, but I know he said, nigga, are you crazy? Bow! Popped on him. Superman punch. Leaned into it. One leg.
He took
and
his
then
anger
caught
out.
him. like a child.
And then continued to pummel him into
I
the
didn't
wall.
say I didn't see him continue to pummel him.
No, he hit him with a 1-2.
I saw everybody converge on them so quickly, and when he grabbed him, he was so close to the wall, and Jordan Poole, his head was damn near at his dick. So I'm like, he can't be still fighting. Like the way, especially when you watch it, it looks like he knew what was gonna happen to Jordan.
Yeah.
It looked like he punched him and like caught him almost before he hit the ground.
It was like
he hit him right square in the chin, man. That was
Nice.
flush.
Like a nice. Ooh.
it was
You
like
saw
the
him
two
buckle.
personalities, like the angel and the devil. He hit, and
Yeah.
then he was like, "Fuck, let me catch him. What did I just do? Why did you do that?"
That's so crazy.
It happens.
But yeah, this is like it's not something new in the NBA.
Fighting.
We've all heard of the fighting in the NBA, and we've seen fights in the NBA. It's just so
think-
funny that it happened under Steve Kerr because Steve Kerr's got the most infamous box in the face in a practice ever.
Really?
That's true.
Yeah, Jordan boxed him in the face.
Oh, really? I had
Boxed
no
him,
clue.
like clocked him nice, and Steve Kerr just had to eat it. Crazy. Actually, no. Steve Kerr tried to fight him. He boxed Michael Jordan back, I think, and then they ended up like getting split up. But
Just because I'm white.
Mike just knew how to press these niggas' buttons, man.
You know, I think people are more surprised because it's basketball over like football and hockey. Like hockey specifically is very aggressive fighting.
Naturally,
sport.
you're gonna lose
And
your
then
cool.
NFL, they be having the
NHL
moments
and
and stuff like
NFL, these niggas be talking shit, but like with the possibility of fighting at any second. Whereas basketball, there's so many times I've been on a court, I'm like, someone's getting shot, bro.
Yeah.
But nothing happens. And in the same man's will like I've been in tons of games or tournaments or just runs where me and somebody are just going at it. It's a foul or everything's a foul or nah, you're calling bullshit, blah, blah. Whatever. And it's like, I feel like when I'm in it, I'm going to fight this guy.
Yeah.
And then after it's just like, yo, go get him, dog.
Yeah.
And
It's
man, I'm
weird.
just literally
Yo, you
forget
know,
about
remember
it.
when they were showing this K Showtime and the Mike Key Pattis and all that? When I see homie do this, I'm like, yo, bro, watch yourself, man. You don't know who's homies in there that's like, okay, he may not hit you,
See,
but
stuff
I'm
like
shoot,
that's different.
you know?
Stuff like that's a little
Like,
different.
that, don't go to other people's hoods and rub their heads like that, like
Bro,
you're
especially as a white
brave.
boy. Like
As a white boy?
My community
that
center,
scares
he
me,
would have, it would have been over for him.
would've
Like,
caught
I mean, that's
something.
why he got hit. That's why he got snuffed.
it's a new generation too, though, where it's like these
It's not
kids
fighting.
don't fight; they shoot. They don't fight
Stab at the
anymore.
least.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know if that's just they're not fighting anymore when niggas get like physical. When you're touching someone, everything's out the window.
Yeah.
When you're jarring back and forth, man could jar all day. Like,
Yeah.
no one's gonna say nothing to you, but.
Once you hit that, the personal.
When you touch somebody, no. I seen a man throw a ball off a nigga's head the other day. He got decked immediately.
Yeah.
No, I'm a grown man. Throwing
Don't
balls
do
off
that,
my head.
yeah.
This ain't and one nigga. You ain't hot sauce.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the NFL though, they have so much aggression.
Yeah,
and they're
naturally.
meant to have so much. Like they're
It's
taught
scary.
and from young to
It's
have
scary.
a lot of aggression.
Yeah.
I've been watching football a lot more this season. It's scary.
Yeah.
That aggression you talk about.
Yeah. They're always angry. Even
always.
with me, like sitting on the sidelines for the Argos, every game, I'm like, holy fuck. I was like, y'all need therapy, dog. Was it not the last home game, but the one before? This was at the end of August. We haven't had a home game in a while. These niggas, I was like, holy fuck. They're fighting themselves, like their own teams. Like, I remember Speedy Banks did something. And I guess he fumbled the ball or some shit like that. Another man's over there ready to fight like Speedy Banks, and they're both on the same team, and they come to the sideline, they're arguing and like niggas in their face and shit like that, and then all of a sudden the one coach comes in and he's yelling and cussing and he's like, what the fuck?
Put it on the field, guys. Go
And
on.
he's like in their face, and then the guy's still going and he's hyping up and pushing people, and then Speedy Banks all the way at the end, and Pinball Clements actually had to go and talk to him and told him to like calm the
Chill
fuck
out.
down. And I was just sitting there, I'm like, yo, they all need therapy.
Yeah.
They need some
It's
help.
not normal how they act in those games. Like I know they think that that's what they're supposed to do, but
That's their normal.
Come on, it's like going into
very
war in the
fucking
trenches.
weird.
Like,
but it's not.
No, I'm just saying in the sense that like.
But
you
that's
got-
what
you
they
get-
train them as.
That's what I mean. Their mind goes into their soldiers in war, and like we got to throw it all on the line. And,
Yeah.
you know, do
I've seen coaches like box
That's
their players in
traumatic,
their
you know,
head.
like-
But that's what I'm saying. It's not. They think that that's normal, and it's
no,
not.
it's not
It's
normal.
very far from
it's
normal.
a normalcy, but it's not.
It's normal to be competitive. It is not normal to be angry.
Yeah.
while
No, they
playing
have
the
they have
sport
some
you
type
love.
of aggression, like anger all the time. And like my brother-in-law used to play football too, and he's been out of it for a couple years now, and he tells GC like sometimes I just have some aggression. I don't know how to like take it out, you know, because he doesn't.
That was
They
his
always
outlet.
had it on the field,
That was
right?
his
They'd be
outlet.
in practice all
Yeah,
the time and like all that other shit. It's like just
Yeah,
want to push somebody, like.
there is no finesse in football. I mean, there is in certain senses, but like everything is just like clash.
Depending
clash,
on your
clash.
position, there's no finesse.
Yeah.
Depending, like if you're on an O line or D line, like, yeah, no, there's very little finesse in there. There's some finesse in like the way you get past.
Like for running
a
backs?
O line, no, like a defensive back, like those swim moves.
Oh yeah. They have
and
to go like
the
this, and they have to like wrap your arm around. And,
like there's so much different things. The push up and like
Yeah, they have different
Aaron Donaldson, the like number 1 defensive back. This guy learned Krav Maga,
yeah.
and he implements it in moving players out the way, like using their weight against them and Wing Chun, and it's crazy,
smart.
bro. It's crazy. So there's some finesse in like almost every position, but yeah, for the most part,
But
you
yeah,
just
everything is
fucking
just clash.
Yeah,
Because even in hockey, there's finesse. You know, in the skating, you know, you can still like be elegant with it, but like that smashing, man, that's just to constantly be in that mind state, and then have to turn that off out of nowhere for the rest of the year. Like, how do you really turn that off?
Ask
Don't.
Kanye.
That's why. That's why so many. That's why so many men get into physical altercations with their women, and you see like with the NFL, there's so many of those players who get into real trouble for assaulting their women because they're home with them and like they have all this shit.
Yeah, I think you guys also like. I'm not an expert on this, but when women play sports, do you guys get angry like that and jar at each other? Like majority of the time when I watch women playing sports, it's more in the physicality, less in the talking.
There's some people who chat it, you know. I mean, for me, I wouldn't chat. Like I would just get more rough.
Yeah, that's
because
what
I was
see.
like a post player too. So
I see that especially in basketball. You guys get nasty.
Yeah.
You guys get they get, especially in high school, the referees would let some shit go because obviously a lot of the girls there are not professionals. Some of them just joined the team, whatever. But it's like from the start of the game, it bubbles up to a point. By the fourth quarter, you're like, yeah, no, these girls are fighting at the end of this game.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
I've seen like for my teams when we played. I played for Mississauga Monarchs and we played the Toronto 5-0, and that whole. So Toronto 5-0 was always like the inner city squad.
That's
you know
why they
what I
named them
mean?
that.
Yeah.
Police are still watching.
And so I played with like a bunch of white girls, and you go there, and it's culture shock, and they come and they're ready to play, and they're not easy. It's not going to be a walk in the park, and there was just like a lot of talking, and like the few black players that we did have, obviously they're going back and forth with the people. And my grandma, she was at the game too, and she went to the bathroom after the game, and 2 of the girls that were on my team, 2 white girls, were in the bathroom, and there was like a bunch of 5-0 girls, and they were like scrapping. They were trying to like circle them and like fight them. They were cussing them out. Like,
I rate it.
And my nanny walks in and she was just like, like
I rate it.
She's like, stop, girls, like don't do this. But they were ready to go.
You just
crazy.
gave me an idea for what could bring the WNBA to the next level.
What?
Mic'd up. WNBA mic'd up,
That would be
and just
to
get
see.
all the trash talking.
There's definitely trash talking.
There's
for
not,
sure.
of course.
No, when I played at Sheridan,
How sick would
To
that
hear
be?
women go back and
Oh
forth?
my God. Because
Yo.
there's this one girl who schools niggas on a daily basis. She shows up to this YMCA and she just fucking wrecks these guys.
Oh, that girl,
It's
yeah.
like porn for me. I love it. And these guys always underestimate her. They always talk shit and then get slapped. And she be talking shit back. And it's like, oh, it's so satisfying to hear a woman do that. That I would want to see that more.
When I played for Sheridan College, that would have been a great time for people to have been mic'd up.
Bruins?
Or like, because our coach was so like talk shit, get hype. You're not gonna like when we used to have practices and we had the scouting reports. His scouting reports were ruthless. He'd be like, "Fuck this girl," and he'd make everybody get hype. And like I remember we'd be in our locker room right before the game, and we'd go there and we'd start like singing and banging on the lockers and screaming and all that shit. And then came out and. Yo, Sheridan Bruins from that time, like, what was it, 08, 09, 07 even, because they started the run before I got there. They were some ruthless girls still.
Good times,
talking
man.
shit, man.
Nothing to worry about them times, but grades and basketball. Good times.
True.
I wish I could play on a basketball team.
You're Filipino, of course you can.
No,
there's a whole league.
Let's go to Hoop Dome.
I mean, in high school though.
You can
high school
sell for
specifically, man.
If you're black and you want to play on a team, just go to a Filipino league. They got one person missing
Imports.
every time.
We need an
and
import.
They need one Negro for every team. There's like a one Negro cap.
No, I think it's 2, isn't it?
One
That's
import.
so funny that there's the black cap and they call it import.
Yeah,
an import cap.
Yeah. It's normally there's.
It's so racist.
The trade-off is normally one of the player's cousins.
I'm going to the Philippines and getting citizenship.
So you
Easy. Andre Blatch
Then
did.
I can't be an import.
No, and then he played for the Philippines.
Facts.
Yeah,
they're trying to get Joel Embiid to sign with America and not France.
Nah, man.
If he's
with that new France kid, that new French rookie.
Nah, he's a waste man if he goes to France.
You know, you could play for Jamaica if you have your citizenship.
Oh yeah, I know. I've looked into it. I'm well aware.
When I was younger, I was like, maybe I should get it.
I was like, there's my loophole.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, if
Team
I can't
Jamaica.
make it, I'll go Team Jamaica. Right. Then I heard, I'm like, Team Jamaica will never make it. And I was like, okay. I was thinking about Jamaica a lot recently, man, and like, I've decided I'm definitely starting businesses in Jamaica when I'm rich. Any business that I want to start up as like an investment or whatever, outsource it to Jamaica.
Why?
Because they need it.
Oh.
And I was like, I remember as a kid, I would tell my mom, I'm going to save Jamaica. And she'd be like, yeah, you're going to save Jamaica. Okay, cool, nice. And I just thought Jamaica needed a lot of money.
Yeah.
I didn't know they needed that much. It's a lot of money. The Chinese are debout. So yeah, I don't know how else to get in there and affect the economy in a good way.
He's gonna make
Plus
affordable housing and affordable oxtail prices.
Definitely not.
That's never gonna happen.
Never gonna happen. But I do know that like they need jobs, obviously.
Yeah.
And the government is so corrupt over there that even if you had a lot of money and went there and said, okay, let's distribute these funds, it's not going to go to the right people. A chunk of it's going to be missing, and a lot of corruption and shit. Because these niggas be buying places in the south of France, buying property up north in Jamaica and shit. So it's really bad. I just seen a video the other day of the government tearing down squatters' homes. So people who, don't have that much, there's these houses that are built on land that's like clearly illegal, but they don't know that. They're moving there and just thinking, oh, this is affordable housing. The landlord is probably a drug dealer. They don't know that. They just think that they're buying a house. And they pay rent every month to this person, and they just think it's the landlord. And then one day they come home and their house is gone.
Wow.
No notice. They didn't give them any compensation, any alternatives, nothing.
Wow.
Just came and demolished the homes, right? And you think you've been doing it legit this whole time because you don't have the education to know that like there's a due process and contracts and all this other stuff. And for the most part, sometimes you don't want to go through that because you couldn't afford it that route anyways.
My dad was going through the complete opposite of that, where he had property and land in the Philippines, and there's all these people that were squatting, and he kind of just let it happen. But then as it started getting like too big, he was like, all right, now you guys got to leave. But then because there was too many of them,
he couldn't take them out.
He couldn't get them out. He couldn't get them out,
Yep.
and they allowed them to stay, so it fucked him over.
Yeah.
And it was just like, damn, that sucks.
And that's probably what they're trying to prevent.
Yeah.
Because especially like
once it gets too big, they can't move it. Yeah.
Especially the area I'm from, my family's from in Jamaica, Cousins Cove. Like my grandfather owned all of it, so my dad would go around and collect rent door to door as a kid. He'd just go around and collect the rent, right? So when I went out there and I'm walking around, everybody like, yeah, Cliff kid, yeah, Cliff son, because I didn't. First of all, I didn't realize. I looked at old pictures of this. This nigga is me. Yeah. Back in the day, like it's like, you know, when you see one of those ancestors that look like you or some shit. This nigga is it's scary. He has my hands. Have you ever seen someone go, they have my hands? Like, dog, it's terrifying.
Well, I said Nola has my ears.
It is terrifying to look at that picture and just be like, yo, like I bet there's barely any change. And so when I'm walking around, everybody just knows immediately because my dad used to collect rent from them growing up. And the amount of people over there that like built up like they had their home and they built a next wing or built a whole other section. And it's all illegal. But like there's so many of them doing it. Can't stop it. Can't stop it. And some people don't pay rent for like 6 months and then paid in full, like in a lump sum. It's weird, man. It's so weird. So there's a lot happening out there. I would encourage anybody that is first generation. If you are gonna create a business, do it in the motherland, man. Yeah, do it there, and like it's obviously gonna cost a lot of money to do that. But also, I think you need to have a third party team go set that up for 5 years. You can't just throw the money over there and be like, all right, you guys start a business over there for me. Because the same shit that's already happening is going to continue happening. You know what I mean? You got to have some outside team that's over there for like 5 years. It's just, get up. Y'all y'all lights. Run around, stand up, man. There you go. There it is.
Podcast P.
Podcast P with the stat. But yeah. Start businesses in your motherland. That's the gist of it. I feel like I'm going to do that in Jamaica for sure. What else happened this week? Is that it?
Well, just Kanye getting banned from everything.
I mean, how much can we talk about this guy?
Yeah.
He's threatening Jews now. It's over for him.
Yeah.
He's got about 4 days left.
So he went to YouTube instead. He got banned from Twitter and Instagram and went to YouTube.
It's so interesting. He can make fun of niggas for weeks on end.
But the second he talks about a Jewish person,
one thing about a Jewish person, he is banished. If that doesn't tell you that racism exists, that there are levels to this shit, what else? What else do you need? That nigga making fun of a black woman for a week straight. Gloria or something? I don't know what her name is.
Editor.
She's like an editor, right?
Yeah.
Fashion editor.
Yep.
Made fun of this woman for a week straight. No consequences whatsoever.
Oh, her name was Gabrielle, I think.
Is it Gabrielle? Somewhere with a G. She's a G.
Yeah.
Shout out to her. Yeah, but it's just like, it's a hair trigger when it comes to Jewish people.
Yeah. Because that's the same thing that happened with Nick Cannon. Remember?
I looked up the Holocaust. It was 12 years.
The Holocaust lasted for 12 years?
12 years. 1933, I believe, to like 1945. How long was slavery again?
400?
400? 400 and things.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying what they went through is less. I mean, that shit fucking horrible.
But yeah, it's all horrible.
It's all horrible. That's the point. It's all
it should
horrible.
Be all judged
slaves
on.
matter. That's all. That's the t-shirt he should make.
True.
All slaves matter.
True.
Why wouldn't he make that shirt?
He wasn't thinking that far.
He not thinking. See, now we got to get on the merch.
I mean, that's that.
All slaves matter.
You tapped into
instead of new slaves.
Level.
We doing all slaves matter. We gonna get the t-shirts made for y'all. That's a new merch. You guys down?
No, that's sick.
I'm actually down.
I'm down for an all slaves matter. 100%.
Jeez, let's go.
Let my people go.
No, do it again. Hold up. Do it again.
Press so hard.
For they could not stand. Let my people go. Oh, that's great. Thank you guys. Another week. Yeah, that was fun, man. Another classic. It was fun. We had Taaylee and the bitch. Yes. Taaylee and his bitch. She was incredible. She had a great story, especially the mom situation with the rapping and the upcoming. It was dope, man. She's very well rounded. Yeah, and she's gonna go places. She's not like trying to be in one box, which was dope. She's very versatile. Why are you laughing? I just wanted you to say so. This shit's killing me. I love it. It's like 8-year-olds doing a podcast. It's incredible. Oh my gosh. But yeah, that is it. That's all. That's the pod this week. Anything coming up for you guys? Yes. Look out for the Brown Bag Comedy Tour with John Paul from Breakfast Television and Ron Josso and myself. And then Trilipino with Keith Pedro. And then Extra Gravy Comedy next Wednesday. Hey. We got a dope lineup, and it's going to be...
Maybe she's just a clown girl.
No, it's not going to be that.
It's gonna be dark. It's gonna be real dark. This is our dark edition because of Halloween coming up in, October. So make sure to masturbate. What? So make sure to masturbate. What? Yeah, bring your sex demons, bitches.
So wait, is it gonna be dark humor?
Yeah. Dark humor.
Maybe I'll actually come.
Hey, she's finally gonna come. So that's your slice. Okay, that's dark humor. Yeah, this is gonna be very inappropriate. She's gonna come with her dark demons. It's gonna be very inappropriate if you have a weak stomach or if you're woke. Don't come. If you're part of cancel culture, this is not the one for you. Just wait till November, my nigga. But yeah. Dark episode of Extra Gravy Comedy next Wednesday at Comedy Bar. Link should be up by the time you guys hear this. It's going to be a dope time. We have some amazing comedians and more comedians than usual, which is dope. More comedy for you guys. So we'll see you guys next week.
I'm Marlon. I'm Norm. And I'm Alicia. And that was the Extra Gravy. That's good to pause. That was a nice little pause there.
To the greatest blood clot podcast in the world. You're welcome in advance. All judgment at the door.
Yeah.
We're here with the jokes. Don't let things lazy. It's the Extra Gravy.